How's everyone in Discord doing? We don't have anybody in Discord. They all left.
They'll come back.
They left us.
There's not a good way to prevent it, and you can use it to take Roshan on the Radiant side, force it to be Radiant every time.
How's it going
today?
today?
And I find it really interesting because now it is
All good. I was trying to analyze some stuff from the tournament, and I think I have what I wanted.
Nice.
And the rest is good.
How does the meta shift?
What were you analyzing for?
I don't think the meta has properly shifted.
For this, or?
Yeah, this Dreamleague for the stream, for the team also, because I think that this Tiny is going to be first pick again on pro scene as support and as mid laner, and I was wondering if we will see Elder Warlock again on the meta, because whenever Tiny is going to be picked on mid lane, he will have some heroes to amplify his damage, like Warlock and Elder. And I saw that Parivision is picking Tiny alongside of Keeper and Elder Titan. And Keeper also played with Solar Bind, so both of them can amplify the damage of Tiny mid lane. It made me happy.
Yeah, that was a cool draft. The last pick Dusa as well. They there was like one fight, you probably watched it, where they went on Satanic Bottom and he was given like 5 mangoes and like Keeper like mana'd him twice and 2 lotuses or something, and this was like minute 7 and they like 5-man dove the Dusa and they couldn't kill her.
Yeah.
So stupid actually.
Like winning a game in 20 minutes with Dusa is not something that I'm familiar with.
Yeah. Who were they against? They were against... Who was
Extreme.
it? Extreme.
I feel like, okay, so in that game, Spirit also had Viper.
I haven't gotten to play any pubs just because I've been really busy, but I really want to try that Phylactery Leshrac I mentioned too. Alright, not try it. I already did it once, but I want to like refine it.
Switch the balance in that matchup.
I think that will work. Just put it somewhere that I can watch too. It's not like YouTube or anything if you feel comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, my pub of the week that's coming out today. Actually, I need to ask. Tell me if that's coming out today.
Like early on in your original segment, like Spirit is one of those teams that, like, if you give them any opening, like, I assume they've seen this. They've seen that the Slardar amplifies the Kez and that they can no longer just pick Ursa to beat Kez. Like, they're going to have something else prepared. Like, this is one of the best drafting teams of all time, which I feel like gets overlooked because they're one of the best clutch teams of all time. It's like, you know, you want to talk about Spirit, 2-time TI winner, 2-time Esports World Cup winner. It's like, we want to hype them up, but in reality, like, a lot of what makes them win is...
Yeah, I mean, I did a pub of the week that I wasn't planning on doing a pub of the week this week, but after our double camp video, I literally just like, it's funny, I was watching back my own pubs to get good clips for the double camp video, and I was like, holy shit, I'm underutilizing this mechanic that I know about. So then I just went into a pub and I'm like, I'm going to utilize this mechanic as much as I can, and then I just like stomped or whatever. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I was utilizing it, but like not enough, you know?
Yeah.
So it was like one of those things where, but what I did notice, because I was then watching Thompson with that in mind, I was like, well, it can't be correct to just always do double camps, right? So then I was like, why are people not doing double camps? So like the one drawback of the double camps is it takes a little bit of time to drag them into each other. And so there's times where you have enough time to walk over and farm 1 camp and then go back to the wave, but you don't have time to farm 2 camps. So I noticed that the only constraint is time, so to get back to the wave. So a lot of times people won't do double camps if they plan to return to their wave, is what I noticed.
Yeah, like farming double camps, you need to have so much free time, because also you are going to spend mana and resources, and if you are going to spend more time you might miss some stuff. I actually have that problem with Primal Beast also. Because if I'm going to farm double camp, I need to use the ult.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel if I use my ult in here, I will be late for the fight, or I will have no ultimate for the team fight. And it's the same with Sanking. When you are going to Sandstorm for double camps, and you feel like you will not have your Sandstorm for the team fight. Like it's all about the time and the situation. But if everything is okay, that farm feels really good.
Yeah, the thing is like, yeah, if everything's okay, then you should be using it 100% of the time. And I was probably using it 40% of the time. And when I mean, I'm assuming most Dota players are not using it even 40% of the time. So it's like one of those things where at first people will probably copy it, meaning like viewers who watch like the YouTube video and stuff. But like that's what we need them to do is understand how good this is, but then realize there's nothing in Dota that is correct 100% of the time, right? So then the idea is to learn exceptions. Somebody asked who we think is stronger between these two teams. Oh, sorry, you were gonna follow up on something?
No, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. You can answer that.
I was gonna ask you who you think's stronger. You did some prep watching the teams.
Like these two teams, always Russian players for me are hard to think, because most of the Russian players, they are not as stable as the players like on Falcon or on the Tundra. Sometimes they are very good, sometimes they are normal, sometimes they are really bad. Like when we were watching Larl against Chiro Jr., I understood that that matchup, Ember against the Earth Spirit, is in favor of Ember. But dying 3 times 1v1 to Chiro Jr. was not an option in my opinion. So deciding between the Russian teams which one is better right now, it's always hard for me to answer. Always hard. But because I'm a Collapse fan, I will always say Team Spirit.
I'm leaning towards Parivision a bit just because Team Spirit looked so bad yesterday.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like they were playing bad, their drafting was really bad, in my opinion. But I guess that can be fixed. Like, I guess, like, meaning, like, sometimes you can just have a team meeting when you're a world-class team like that, and you can just, like, turn it around and adjust appropriately.
Yandex is also willing to pick some heroes
Yeah.
that like turn the meta on its head a little bit.
But maybe they just choose the bad strategy against Team Yandex. Maybe they prepared for the bad strategy.
Like chain disable, the ability to do damage with wards. Like you could mention this hero against Viper. You
1
can't
second
kill
here, I
ward
need to do
against
something.
Physical damage. Like you just straight up don't care about Viper as a concept. Dazzle, same thing. Like this changes the game. Like you have to kill the Dazzle, right? So I think Yandex just has a grip on the meta that other teams don't, and these teams need to look at what they're doing.
It's interesting because they played these heroes in traditional ways. Like Shaman was played as the way that a usual 4 position would be played. Dazzle was played as a usual 5 position, whereas 9 class will play the semi-typical heroes like a Monkey King and I guess some atypical heroes like a Slark, but he will play them in completely wonky ways. And so we'll see if maybe Parivision want to go back to a little bit more traditional, because it proved to be very successful, at least with Soxa against Team Spirit. But we'll see which heroes they want to do that with as we begin the draft for game number 1. Spirit, they ban out the Slark, the Ursa, and the Timbersaw. Parivision ban out Primal, Jakiro, Dragon Knight, and first phase of Viper ban. Spirit get themselves a Slardar.
Yeah, this is the hero that sways the matchup, carry-to-carry matchup to like whoever has Slardar pretty much. It's the way for him. Like you have BKB piercing tool.
First pick is
It
Slardar.
amplifies the damage so much. It allows you to pick up Roshan. You basically need like 1, maybe 2 hero pickoffs between 17, 20 to be able to kill Roshan, then turn that into Tormentor. This hero just gives you everything, and seems like Parivision, they want to have this swap. I think this is going to be used as a flex to potentially just follow wherever Slardar is going to go. So potentially we could see carry Quap if this is going to be Slardar on the off lane. But knowing Team Spirit, I kind of feel more that this Slardar is better when played from a mid lane.
I do think it is, but that's why I like the co-op from Pari. It's not really the matchup you want to go for, but like you said, they could flex it into the safe lane. Then again, if I'm Spirit and I'm picking the Slardar, it goes off lane and I force the Tanic to play this hero.
I don't remember that DM
okay with it. So like you
plays
go for,
Timbersaw,
later.
but
if
Team
you're
Spirit
you're gonna
banned it
ban out
anyway.
control and like something else, hopefully.
Oh,
to,
they
like, make
played
it easier
once.
for your Slardar to go into the offlane if that's where you want him to go.
I'm surprised that a Queen of Pain first phase is justified based off of just a Slardar pick. Do you not need to see more to protect a Queen of Pain?
I like it. I mean, I think you guys nailed it.
Queen of Pain enjoyers here on the panel.
I'm a Queen enjoyer. I think it's still good. I agree with Lacoste. Like I think that Parivision. Okay, Spirit has to be worried about the flex, and because it really does dumpster Slardar in lane. Like, yeah, it's a really good pick. This is good preparation here.
So even in side lane, if it is, let's say, offlane Slardar, carry Queen of Pain, there is no 4 position that can sway the matchup in Slardar's favor?
I don't think so,
okay.
Honestly. Like, Quap is such a strong laner in a side lane in general. There's very...
Sorry, yeah, my, it's so much harder to do YouTube now that I'm, like, in a good way, that I'm, like, so we had our farming video come out yesterday, and then I'm having a pub of the week that I'm showing an example of it, and then I'm trying to have that pub of the week refer to the farming video, be like, I'm going to demonstrate the farming pattern, or the farming concept that we discussed in yesterday's video or whatever. Go check it out if you want more details. Like, that's something that I've never really done very well, is like connecting videos. So. And yeah, I'm just like, yeah, it takes so much more time to plan it out. But I'm good now. I'm zoned in. I'm locked in. Okay, so Quap in response to Slardar. Do you think it's potentially a safe lane Quap if it goes Slardar off lane? Because it can like also match it, you know, like if it's mid Slardar, mid Quap, off lane Slardar, off lane or safe lane Quap. Do you think that's how it is, or just what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, the answer is right after the Slardar, so I think they will keep it flexed to see where Slardar will go, because they also have the second pick. So I think they will hold that Quap as a flex hero till the end of the draft.
Yeah, okay. So you're on the same page as me then.
Yeah.
From your position 5, and we've seen Parivision go, like, even in the previous patch before the nerfs, the Satyr creep on Chen, going for the Hellbear facet, because there's so many other strategies that you can do with it. There was a game where they played
Banned Ember Viper.
Then you sacrifice this guy, forcing either a glyph, or with Eidolon, you're going to be losing the tower.
Yeah. And there's also like the...
Holy moly.
Whoa.
I don't mind Ogre, because in lane against Slardar, it's nice, like melee hero with a lot of armor, but then also, so it lanes with Quap, but then you can also, a lot of the carries I want to pick against Slardar are like ranged guys, so, it just sets it up well, I guess.
Yeah. Also, I saw that DM played Ogre a couple of times.
Oh, recently? I know he used to. Has it been recent?
Yeah, no, not recent.
Okay.
Not recent. And I'm still wondering about the Midas build. I think that Midas is not good anymore to buy, but I'm not sure if we shouldn't buy it even on Ogre too. What do you think?
I guess my thought is that I don't think Midas is strictly bad now. I think it is it's just a very different item. If you're a hero that relies a lot on gold but not items, then it's just a strictly better item. Or sorry, on gold but not XP, then it's like strictly a better item. I mean, every hero to some extent relies on XP, but I guess just my thought is that I wouldn't think of Ogre too much as an XP hero. Like, I would think of Ogre as like multicast predominantly becomes better as he gets more items.
Very good against Slardar matchup in general,
and good with Ogre in lane too. Like, I was sitting here trying to think of a ranged hero that can pick with Ogre. That's
so
like,
I don't think Midas is that bad.
And Win Ranger is just still there.
Yeah, last time I believe Yatoro got it once on like an 18 pick.
Okay, so they do go for the shaman.
I'm curious how it ends up playing out, but
counter to Queen of Pain, taking a page out of
in theory, if you're accelerating, if you get Midas like you did before, and you're accelerating your next item faster, and you're like Invoker mid with like an Ags or something, like Midas Ags, you know, that could, and you get your Ags sooner because the Midas is lower cooldown. I'm just hypothesizing here.
A couple of tournaments ago, just buying pretty much every single aura, Midas, Greaves, Crimson, Pipe, whatever it's needed. I think this is the face of a guy that enjoys playing Ogre and might be the guy
So it's a
this game.
different kind of usage, but still good.
I think
Because
it's
of
the
the
same
model.
item power. It's just a very different item now. Is how I would look at it. I think it's been. I would say it's a relatively neutral shift of power on the item. But there are heroes that previously really relied on the XP, probably like supports and stuff.
I don't think so. As an offlane, you're just more about building the auras, being tanky, and that's not
True.
really involving the levels. Like your fire blast and your damage, it's just whatever. Your other heroes are doing that for you. You're just a tank. So.
Yeah, I do wonder what
I
they'll
think
show us here, 'cause maybe
Parivision
they wanna
has
keep, like, the
to
co-op flex
show his
open,
offlaner right
and,
now if
you
they
know,
want
so
to
they'll show
hold
us
that
where the
co-op
Ogre
flex.
is the 3 out of 5. But I could definitely see it as an offlane. Like you guys both mentioned, the Crimson is insane. You lane into Warlock. I mean, Ogre is not really a hero level 1, but Warlock doesn't really pressure. Like he throws a heal or some Fatal Bonds. Okay, they go for the TB.
Does remove a fair amount of flex potential revealing that pick here, but they think it's confident Satanic can carry the game with it.
Very good against Slardar. It's the highest base armor hero in the game.
Yeah.
The highest armor gain hero in the game, and Slardar, peels off your armor.
So then now the decision is, do you send Slardar mid, deal with the Queen of Pain, and then get like a Brewmaster or one of the other anti-Terrorblade offlaners that seem to be so common? And it has to be a collapse here also.
Do you want to sack the lane for Slardar? That
I think we'll see Lish right here.
That's the issue, is that you're then giving Parivision exactly what they wanted the whole time, which is what is so elegant about this draft.
Yeah.
Is that you're forcing this position that doesn't feel very good.
It's a good puck game. Like there's no like real stun, something that he is afraid of. They have good amount of control, good amount of team fight inside of Spirit. The question is, like this Slardar is not gonna be doing much from the
I think
offlane.
Invoker's like
It's
super
gonna
broken
be
right now, by the
for
way.
them. So you have that damage amp. You have Corrosive Haze, Phylactery.
Why? Why do you think that is?
Different facets. If I'm a carry player, I have Phylactery, and that got buffed.
Jug with all these steroids feels really nice.
That would be
And so, like, I feel like we're already seeing a lot of Slardar Invoker because, like, the combo's insane. Like, the enemy carry is minus armored, and your carry is Alacrity. Like, there's just no matchup. Like, Terrorblade's not going to win the carry matchup now, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
I'm down with Jug. I'm also down with Kez potentially.
It opens up my hero pool a lot as carry, is what I'm saying. You can be, like, crowd-controlled nuisance if you go the Wex facet. You can be, like, burst damage with Sunstrike and Cataclysm later if you go the Exort facet. So I feel like his numerous different roles in the game, combined with, for whatever reason, his laning stage seems to be fine in most matchups. I've like felt it in my pubs. I've played like 5 pubs this new patch, and I've seen like 2 or 3 Invokers, and they all owned. So.
I would have also liked that because it gives more stuns against the Queen of Pain as well, which has not really been... I mean, maybe the Shaman is enough of an answer, but I feel like Queen of Pain is still going to have a pretty fun time.
So let me see. You need a Yatoro hero and Pari. I mean, yeah, Pari have an option. Like they could, of course, still flex it and have it be a
So
an
it's
offlane
co-op
last pick
against Walker,
with like some
which is
potential
normal.
Hunter that you still kind of have to respect. It is quite good against the Spirit draft. It kind
It's
of
TB against the
it also is usually
Slardar,
quite hard. Like if you're Spirit and you're doing like some Warlock Slardar that go
which
in,
I think
he
they
just
will
breaks free, he's
farm
gonna sit in the
normally.
middle. What else is there?
Doom and Phoenix get banned out. They are expecting this to be a support Ogre.
Is it like Morphling? You want to just go for the classic Morphling terribly? I mean, one that's like a little crazy, but I have seen in pro level pubs, and I
Doom
think
is banned also.
once yesterday. Bloodseeker actually looks quite good.
What heroes
Like,
do
it gets Queen of
Parivision
Pain,
have?
Rupture destroys her. You do good in the
Centaur's
matchup
banned.
against Terrorblade because of the new shard. Build all magic damage.
I mean, it has decent tempo. I don't know if it has a great matchup into TV. Maybe you do with Mjolnir and everything.
Yeah, but he
I'm not
buys
sure.
into Scotty, holds his ground. He's one of the few heroes who will stand the ground and fight you.
What else is there? What were we mentioning earlier?
Jug?
Jug is still available.
Jug is still good. Yeah, Jug is for sure good.
Gyrocopter is still available.
I would be okay with Jug. There was something else too.
Okay, so
What was the kills for me?
okay, so Morphling against.
The thing is, though, I mean, if Parivision has absolute
I
live
like
spec
the
against
Monkey
this, so
King
do they
Doom
really wanna
bans.
run the
I like
Ogre
those a
into
lot to
Morph?
set up the
Is
Morph.
there some
I
offlaner
know
that can be
Phoenix
picked that would
like
just
Morph is okay
destroy
against it in
Morphling
game.
I think there's a couple you could look at. I think, generally speaking, Tide is always very good against Morph. If you want to be like very annoying for laning, it can
But
be Enigma,
in the
or if
lane
you have, like, some
itself,
GG
I
from
think you need an
Define,
offlaner with like pretty good damage over time to like boot the Morphling out by himself. Like you want to free. Basically, Morphling's gonna get level 4 or 5. Warlock's gonna want to leave, and then you needed an offlaner that can like boot the Morphling out when he's level 5 or 6, basically. And I think Phoenix and Doom would have done that. I mean, Doom for sure, but Phoenix I think is probably the other one. Is this AA offlane or what?
Monkey King AA before.
They are not that fun. Look at the
Okay,
Puffy's
okay,
face.
okay.
It's Ogre offlane, yeah.
Okay,
They're
so
so serious.
I'm like 95. Not 95. I'm 75% Team Spirit draft. What do you
I
think?
do think you want like some type of like setups. Do you go like Atos on Monkey or like Yule? Because this was the 1-5. I
AA
could see the
troll
pick,
late
but
lane.
I still feel like it makes your
Just
draft
to counterpick the
little wonky.
Morphling.
You have good map play in the mid
9
game, like,
class
you have
Monkey
TB that
King.
shoves ways, you have 9 class
Like,
who's annoying,
I
5
understand
class
Team Spirit's
can hit
draft
later, but I do feel like you
more.
rely on-
I
you
understand
rely on
what
a
they
couple
want to
items
do.
to get this going.
But I'm scared of this Parivision early rotations for those pickups. Because Team Spirit, if they stay together, they are strong. But if they go separated, they will die one by one. And Parivision, especially with 9 class, they are good with that. Like, if it wasn't Parivision, if it was some other team, I would say that I like Team Spirit draft very much. But because I know that Parivision with this kind of draft can be so annoying, nah, I go with Parivision.
He does go
Ah.
Yules, by the way. So, like, this is his current, what he's figured out as, like,
Yeah, because
is
this
the
kind of
Monkey King going to
draft
work,
is
so, yeah, I think
kind of
they
draft
put
that
for the AI. I think
Parivision
was a really
will
good
make
pick.
it work.
No, I
And they
kinda
know
like it. I
how
think it's
to
a little
play
back and
around
forth,
it.
but
But
honestly,
in a
deal
normal
on Ogre.
game with like any
Let's
other
see what he's
team, I
able
would
to do. Let's
I would
see
go
it
with
in
Team
our
Spirit.
lower bracket final. Let's see it with Odie Pixel and Quinn.
It's really funny. Apparently, Dota 2 Pro Tracker has a draft tool, and it says 75-25 in favor of Team Spirit, and that's exactly what I said. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah, their draft looks really solid.
I can see your argument for Parivision being like obviously these draft tools and like looking at drafts like objectively, it doesn't work at like the absolute highest level just because teams can make certain things work that in like no other team you would feel confident to do it. Like with that in mind, whenever I see that sort of thing, I still favor the team that has the better draft on paper, but I also know that that's why these professional teams, like that's why the game gets played, right? Is because these teams are able to execute drafts that other people can't. So I just think that like Parivision has to understand their draft better than Team Spirit understands theirs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Parivision,
And I don't feel like this is like out of comfort zone for Spirit either.
Is it going to work out? Sort of making
Yeah,
this move
that's true.
and getting that AA in as that
Like, it's
last
harder
pick.
for Parivision to execute their draft to work. But as I said, if it wasn't Parivision,
Yeah.
I would say Team Spirit.
For sure.
But I can see that Yatoro is farming on a camp in jungle, like maybe around minute 17, 18, and there's a monkey on top of him, and he gets the AA ult and he dies. Like, I can see it from Parivision.
Did you see his? Yeah, I was gonna say, did you see his quick buy on Morphling here? I knew this was gonna be a thing, dude. Maybe
Oh.
maybe I'm choosing the wrong hero, but I knew this was gonna be a thing. I'm telling you, man. Carries are gonna go Phylactery, 100%.
Nice, nice.
It makes
I
sense
never
that
thought of this.
it makes sense that he's doing it on a carry with natural survivability, though. Like it would definitely the only limiting factor of Phylactery is that it doesn't give you any movement speed / survivability. Like it gives you some stats, but like you'll die to most ganks still. But like a hero like Lesh, I think works too because he's naturally really fast. But then he also like the way he survives ganks generally is just by fighting his way through them. You know, like he just survives and kills you. So Morphling, I can see how you replace Vlad's with Phylactery, which makes sense to me as well. Now my question is there any other carry that utilizes this like insanely well. Maybe PL. Maybe PL, dude.
PL.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the hero needs to have a target selected spell, so you can use as maximum efficiency from your Phylactery. He also needs to like. He should like to buy the Perseverance. So PL can work too.
The thing about PL is he probably needs treads first, while Morphling's just straight rushing Phylactery.
Yeah.
I'm looking at carry hero pool right now.
Yatoro will need to be on his A game to not get
Dude.
popsicle.
Okay, I'm gonna let you think for a second. I have an idea.
Let's see what we get from DM.
Okay, let me check the hero stuff.
I'm gonna look more, and I have an idea of a hero that could work that I want to try.
Some of the level of kind of shaman play that we've come to be used to from like Saxa the other day, obviously showing us what he could do with it on this new patch.
No, any carry hero that I see, they don't like to buy Phylactery, other than Morphling and Lancer. What's your idea?
My idea is CK.
I was thinking of CK, but CK with Phylactery?
Yeah, man. The hero has high movement speed, natural gap closing. Just needs some sustain to stay in lane.
So you think that Phylactery is better than Armlet for CK?
I'm saying that you can't go no boots Armlet, but you could go no boots Phylactery.
They gave him the Monkey King. We know 9 class.
So my thought would be maybe you go Phylactery treads Armlet.
It's not a problem. We can play against it. But I tell you what is a problem is this mid lane.
Yeah, we should try that.
I'm gonna try it.
This lane is not supposed to go like this.
I'll try it for you.
Anything, an Invoker
These are the type of
lane
things where they're
and
either like
Invoker
super
as
broken
they
because there's nothing the
drive.
opponent can do, or they're
Can't win
super
off
bad.
skill, and no one is winning off
So
skill.
I'll
This
let
is
you know.
Yeah, true.
sheer outplay. This is not how this
Thank
match
you.
should go.
Yeah, this is crazy.
The other one is
It's kinda
Spectre,
crazy
actually.
as well, not to only see that sort of
Dude, I actually need to try Spectre with it. I was thinking, like, how does Spectre get past the early game? Dude, Spectre's the other one with the fucking W thing. The new spell.
Oh, yeah, actually Spectre can work.
Yeah, she needs mana and health. That was my problem with Spectre.
It's an insane gap. Like,
She needs mana and
She
health
also
to get
likes
past
to
the
have
early game.
diadem.
doubling at 3 minutes
Yeah,
and
she
not
likes stats.
getting
Yeah,
the
stats and regen. That's like the dream
normally,
for
so no one
Spectre.
is mega locked
Yeah,
into
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna load up Dota real quick.
Yeah.
And just, like, add these
Spirit
heroes to my
definitely
pool
have
so I don't
sort of pick up
forget.
the slack on the sidelines,
I predicted when I watched the draft, or when I looked at the patch, I said there's gonna be side lane heroes that build this item, and I think it's broken. I just don't know which ones yet. That was like my immediately when I read the patch. I predicted only off lane, but the fact that like I then started thinking, I literally said to you Phylactery Lesh carry, and then I'm seeing Yatoro go fucking first item Phylactery on carry. So okay, clearly I'm on the same page as.
You're gonna need Collapse to have a good game this game. And
If I'm on that all the same pages as Yatoro, I'm gonna roll with it. Let's see. I'm gonna add PL, so I'm just gonna put these heroes at the top. PL. I mean, maybe I should be fucking playing Morphling. That's so easy how to play Morphling right now. PL, Morphling, CK, and what was the other? Did I mention another one?
That sort of greedy approach
Chaos?
of getting the most
Yeah, I said PL, Morphling,
Lancer,
CK.
Spectre.
Maybe there's
Spectre.
some comms going on, and no one's
Yeah.
sort of letting DM know that hey, this Invoker is not.
But yeah, what if Spectre goes Phylactery Radiance? That sounds pretty sick, actually.
Game where you're gonna have this
Yeah,
Invoker
that's
trying
true.
to get his Midas, and obviously there's a Morph as well. Needs a bit of time to get that first major pick up the Phylactery.
Oh, sorry, I'm like enlarging and shrinking the window.
No, I think so. And Spirit's heroes are
Do you
also
see the
just slow
difference?
heroes in
The
general.
lasses on
Morphling,
Invoker and Quap?
Warlock even, these are not
No,
Holy
it's
shit,
just-
actually. Laurel's getting
Warlock
owned.
is not getting any extra book charges
Yeah,
either.
like
Warlock
Laurel,
more
I think he got the
Radiant
first
and
blood with the
Synergy together.
Sunstrike,
These heroes pretty bad together.
or
Does
maybe
not
a
use
kill,
heal very
not the
well at
first
all.
blood.
Morph does not get
But
aggressive and
still,
kills, which gives Warlock
he's
some
struggling
attacks,
on the
so
lane.
Spirit picked Morphling for the game matchup, certainly not for the early game. It's very good against the first 4 heroes, but the A and its synergy with Warlock is definitely a bit awkward, and their heroes are slightly on the
They
too
blocked
farmy
the
side.
launch.
Oh, DM
Again.
took the learning curve facet. That's interesting.
One thing that
No.
Spirit definitely have going for them on that bottom lane is the fact that that spam from DM will be very easily dealt with. Just down to the
It
nature
wasn't
of having
first
that
blood, somebody
Warlock
said just
support
to kill.
down there, constant sustain.
Yeah, I guess first
Oh, he got an
blood,
assist. He
was
didn't get the last
taken-
hit. He got an assist.
Ah, yeah. Look at this.
For the jump here onto Lyle.
Oh, the poor guy is being dived also after that laning phase.
They'll bring him down.
No one's getting really low. He's dead, I think.
Fair.
Oh!
Creeps. No.
That's actually a really big turnaround kill.
They do get the kill against no one in return.
It's a good attempt to deny on neutral.
I think Larlo's is still not happy.
I mean, yeah.
Laurel does go down, but getting that Queen of Pain death is going to
Collapse is winning top though.
So you can be a little bit
Against
safer on
Terrorblade.
these side lanes.
I also think Terrorblade's nerfs are pretty significant. The damage numbers on his W are like way worse.
With the Sunstrike coming in, it's gonna be very close.
I did the math. I don't know if you saw the math on it. Oh god, collapse.
Oh!
Fucking blood grenade, bro.
Yeah. No one is here also. Oh, they're gonna lose the wisdom too.
Oh no, actually. Kanto? Man fight?
No one's going to be able to head over, and nobody is going to be able to stop him from picking that one up.
Man,
Okay, that's pretty disastrous,
big
actually.
mistake from Collapse.
These kind of rotations are the things that mostly we do not expect by the draft, but Parivision does this.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, you said it yourself. Yeah. Pretty sick
Collapse
execution.
overplays his hand a little bit, trying to get this TB kill, and because of it, he's dead. Shaman's dead, and they don't get this Wizardman fight, which should have been theirs for sure. That is a big deal.
Yeah.
One of the problems that I realized like 4 years ago is that when you try to counter pick some of the cores with AA, most likely you're gonna lose your lane with AA. Like you counter Morphling or Huskar or those kind of heroes with AA5, but most of the time you lose the lane with the hero.
Yeah, he's a pretty weak laner.
Yeah.
And of course, 9 class being pretty much, I think he's been on all of them, right? What was it at the moment on the Monkey King?
Yeah, but they also do have a carry Terrorblade that doesn't mind losing his lane in jungle. So.
He is.
Yeah.
And also Slardar doesn't exactly kill your tower,
Pretty much the same net worth as
so
Morphling,
there's not
but
like
his
too much
Monkey King is
punishment for
not
it.
even laning, right? His
Not
Monkey King is
like you
everywhere.
can't afford to do it against like
Banging
Beastmaster, right?
people
Because
at
then
the
you just
same
like lose your
time.
tower
Yeah,
and
he's
you
doing totally fine,
get like
despite
invaded
rotation
really
phase.
early in mid lane and
Now,
stuff.
staying in this lane at this point is going to start to get
Just see the
tiresome, right? Because
damage
he gets spammed by
on
this Phylactery
Ogre.
adaptive strike. It is
And
gonna hurt.
also Morphling is maxing his W.
Buys the raindrop, but it's slowly gonna
Oh,
get
he
taken
Not
maxes
the
down.
W?
waveform to farm.
It's gonna one-
Yeah, he's
one
maxing
places
it.
to gank and make moves.
Interesting.
It hurt.
It's going to be very difficult for...
Oh, when you said damage on Ogre, I thought you meant like Ogre the hero doing damage, not damage done to Ogre.
Yeah, damage done to Ogre.
I see, I see.
Down people across the map with that sort of information that 9 class can give on the Monkey King. You know, on the side of Spirit, how do you ever start sort of making a move?
He's
onto
going for
Parivision's
Midas.
half
He
map
has the
deep into
raindrops
jungle
too.
to try and bully Satanic on the Terrorblade?
It's gonna be a while before something like that happens. I think your first moves or support.
Isn't that
sixes
kind of a bit
combined
unnecessary
with
to
Slardar
max
maybe in
the
a stun
W?
strike,
What's the
but
cooldown on it?
Invoker Morphling.
Isn't
they're
it
gonna be
flat
farming for quite
cooldown?
some time. This Morphling build is very slow. He doesn't
I
have
think
a
it's-
boost yet, so there's
No, I
way
think
he's gonna
the
come even
cooldown gets
close
better
to
when you
doing
max
Oh,
it.
it is
another lane.
24
Like,
seconds.
purely his
Yeah.
lane,
12, I see.
he's farming,
Yeah, I
he's
guess that'd
making
be kind of a
Ogre's
waste of
life
Phylactery if you don't max it.
very annoying, which it is actually at this
Doesn't
point.
that make it
You see
worse,
BM kind of just
though?
walking around. He's gonna farm
That
this
you have to
man.
like adjust your skill
Being
build
in
for
the lane,
this?
It's not really an option for him anymore.
But you can extend your lane. I mean, in this case, the guy cannot 1v1 you.
Oh, I mean, you boot 95% of offlaners out of the lane for sure, which is high relevance. But yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like Morphling's kind of always done that though.
Doing on his Lars very close to having his Midas just under 200 gold away.
No, I'm not a
So
I'm
we'll
not
be able to
a
start there.
like an Morphling
Catching up
expert.
there once that's online.
I'm just yeah, I've laned against Morphling a lot more than I've played it. I mean, it's funny I say that, but I have like 200 Morphling games or something. I feel like as an offlaner, unless I've won the lane by level 3, then Morphling's gonna boot me out eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good base actually.
Yeah.
So they
I
kick
really
him
like
out
this
of
play
the
by
lane.
Pari to boot him out, because like his entire build is about occupying the lane.
Yeah, true.
It's a nice little
It's more
move.
powerful when the
And
guy
also-
itemized for it too.
A good gate from Satanic.
Yeah, and also he has no Vlads or the maximizing the wave farm.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't like it.
Morphling sit here and spam.
Yeah, true. If they kick him out, it's also hard for him to jungle. He needs to have it to stay in the lane, and with this kind of rotations, he will be kicked out.
I don't like adjusting my skill build to stay in lane on carry. If your carry can like naturally occupy lane, then it's like really strong. But
yeah.
That's a rare death from him. You don't normally see him sort of give up these. It's almost a silly death. He kind of just jumps down in the middle of 4 heroes, gets hexed and dies.
They want to hold
Yeah, I
this
feel like that was
tower?
sort of like one of those moments
I don't know if
where
they can with the
maybe because we
catapult, and
don't
they
see
just have
too much
Slardar getting
Shaman,
healed.
he sort of forgets that there's an
Oh, they're
instant
gonna let
hex
the
in the game.
catapult
Yeah.
die.
Because outside of that, he's obviously being able to
Oh.
jump down and jump back
Okay.
up.
Is he gonna die?
It's going to be a little bit annoying there for Collapse, getting clipped by the Ice Blast.
No, but he
Yeah.
will be sad.
Ah, it's-
Maybe with
I don't
9
think the Ice
class he
Blast
dies.
will last long enough, right? Should be fine.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That they just threw some poke at him, and now he's got to go to base.
Huh.
Shows the power of Parivision's
Invoker is
early
recovering
skirmish.
during this time, but now Ogre has his Midas.
Very strong.
Mm-hmm.
Laura will be happy with
This
that
is
one.
kind of the nature of
That's
Invoker,
nice.
though. Like you said about AA, I think the same about Invoker, like in the sense that usually I don't see Invoker lose his lane this badly, but even then, like if I'm a carry and I have Invoker, I know I'm getting ganked.
Against this sort of spam.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, he just
Yeah,
doesn't
so-
rotate as Invoker.
Holy crap.
Meatball.
They farm the ancient stack really fast. Spirit's very good about this.
For like
But
Fatal,
these even games making
Yeah.
sure they get the ancient stacks,
I
protecting
think
them,
does too much.
and bolstering that economy to speed up that point
Very
where they
strong
actually
spell.
can make
So,
moves, right? It's some slow heroes, but
What card do you
Collapse is
think,
gonna have a very fast
according
lane.
to the item change
With the
and the
rock
hero
online,
change
the snakes,
and
the
general
shaman,
changes of Dota
they
2,
can get involved,
what hero
they
do you
can-
think is the
they can
best
start to make some
carry
things happen.
on this meta?
I think Wind Ranger might still just be
I'm
the
curious
best
to see how this
carry.
Ogre
I don't think it has anything to do with
Ogre
the
does. They
patch,
got
though. I
one
think she
base
just kind of
damage
got
and Midas is
underlooked
buff.
last
We've
patch.
seen Parivision try
towards
this
the
hero
end.
in the past, and they stopped picking it for a reason.
I think the
Fell off,
winning
it wasn't
formula for
working.
carry is still like if
Found
you're able to
counters
stay
it.
in lane
Now they're trying
and
to
not get booted
resurrect
out,
it,
and the other team isn't,
but
then you
will
like
it be
win
enough?
most games in my
Oh.
experience.
At least they gave reason.
They did this. A little
I
bit of the old lag.
like I can't emphasize enough that rotation by Pari was crucial.
Yeah, no,
Like, that was
and as
such
you
an
brought to the
important
panel stage,
rotation.
they
Like,
went
that,
for DM
In my
first,
opinion,
or you're
25%
looking
increased
for
the
is more
win
Crimson
percentage
this
this game by Yatoro going an item build that he'll never get booted out and then booting him out.
I think he might.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Um,
actually a bit interesting 'cause they
I
have a
think it's
pretty good mix of
insanely
damage.
important
Yeah,
for
there's a lot of
carries
physical,
right now.
and
It's
they
been that
choose
way
the physical,
for a
right? It's
while.
amp. Crimson is generally not
Ever
good
since they
against
like put
water,
the
right?
ancients
For the
behind you and
limits, 'cause
stuff, it just
you're
feels so
amped
much better
and
to
you're
stay in that
Crimson, you're
area as
still gonna
carry if
die
it's
to the
possible.
amp. So could go for it. It is great on Ogre.
Based on your
Crimson is
question
strength.
though,
Not 100% sure though. Looks like DM doesn't know either. He's gonna buy his wand now and has nothing else queued after. Which to me says
I think the
still
most
thinking about
underrated
it.
hero
Yeah,
right now
it's
is
huge.
Sniper,
Generally,
personally.
you see a lot of players queue that.
I don't think
stuff
he's the
up pretty
best
far in
hero.
advance. Yatoro
I
keeps
think
his
he's
whole item build
underrated,
at the
though.
start of the game.
I think he's slept on by pro players
Yeah, the continuation of love
because
from
he can
Invoker,
he
no
can go mid
surprises.
and safe lane. So
Stuff
if you
the
pick him
exhaust
like
of the Aghanim himself, just Midas.
7th or
And
8th in the
here is
draft,
that smoke plate that we were looking
he has like
for.
no
So
bad lane
round
matchups.
collapses,
So I
blink
feel like
dagger, pick up.
if people
See what they
understand
can
you can
get
flex
here
him to
top.
carry, then he goes up in value pretty
Parivision,
massively.
though, are also smoked up and ready.
That's my prediction.
Parivision have
though.
the numbers here.
Oh, there's the jump on a no one. They get him with the instant hex. They've got the shackle as well.
I don't know about
They've
the
not
best
able to
hero
lock
in
him down
Dota right
long
now.
enough, though. No one's out of there.
It's a little early
Rue
for me to
will
predict
fall.
that, I think.
Jump forward for 9 class with the Wukongs and the potential of the balance not even actually needed.
Yeah,
Just
but
manages the
according
first
to
one.
the
Sonic
changes,
play.
like whatever we
That was the
say
move
probably
there
is going to
where Spirit tried
change.
to make
Yeah.
the play with the blink
According to
reveal,
the like,
dropping
if I
the gun
wanna
as well.
put
They don't get
everything
anything,
together,
and Parivision end up
according to the
cleaning up both
hero
of the
change
supports.
and the item change and the general
The worst
change,
thing ever for Spirit, though, is
I
they get
think
mid tower in the
everything
meantime,
is in favor
while
of
taking that
Morphling.
because no one was up
Because
here.
the Eblade
It
change
gets left
is
a
now
little bit
good for
open, and
Morphling.
Laurel also
The
took the
Phylactery
Securities
change
tower as
that
well, so
I
they get
didn't
both teams
realize,
out of
but
it. There's a
after
couple
just you said,
supports
I
which
was
can
like,
use their
okay,
ults.
I have more reasons
So
to
they're
say
gonna have to be a little
Morphling
bit
the best
passive for a
carry
while here,
according
but
to the changes.
Yeah.
And
not the worst trade in the world.
he doesn't care about the
Definitely
flag
could've been better
bearer
for Spirit, though.
creep not giving HP regen anymore. He has Mask or the Ring of Regen.
Continue to go favorably for Yatoro.
I think the hero...
Up
And,
at
and the
top
second
right
spell
now,
stuns now,
with that of no one's
so
top.
we don't care if they TP.
Satanic
we can
still a
cancel
little
them.
bit behind,
Mm.
not by much. Still very
Yeah,
early
I
games
agree with you. I
luxury
think
for
Morphling's
himself.
probably
The 14 minutes trying to
is
win as
probably
well,
the
so
strongest
levels are
carry right
good
now,
on
actually.
Satanic.
Yeah. Also,
I
Yatoro is
will say,
going
I think this
for
slower early game
Manta
pace, when
Ebolate,
Spirit
Phylactery
gets
Manta
out
Ebolate.
okay, is
according to his group.
It's funny because the Terrorblade matchup used to be incredibly bad against Morphling, and then for a while it was actually a solid matchup for Terrorblade because Morphling used to be E-Blade Morphling, so his damage was magic, burst, which is bad for Terrorblade, but then he was all about Vlad's Butterfly, which is like 100% physical damage. So then Terrorblade actually had a fine matchup against Morphling. And then now it's like probably back to the old way, where you're going like Phylactery E-Blade, and then that probably feels pretty awful for Terrorblade to play against.
Parivision are gonna have to be ready for these
True.
plays.
When they pick this kind of lineup against OG yesterday,
Is Phylactery that
they were
strong?
running them over
Any
the
item
edge
that gives you
massively early
stats
with
and
the
regen
game.
is like
Well,
really
9+
good
did
early
get
game
some
for
kills this
sure.
game.
It did a fair bit in the early few minutes, but
I mean, I talked about it in my patch review that early game you want regen, later on you want health and mana, and so like Phylactery before this patch gave flat health and mana, which is not very good early, but then now it gives regen, which is really good early.
Not get many items.
So
I mean, so who's that sort of on?
Yeah,
on
it's-
Parivision's side? Should someone be
Phylactery got
looking to team up
massively
with
buffed in this
9+
patch.
to
Like I said it
try
at the
and get
start, I
action
think it's
going,
like
or
the
is there
most
a
buffed
reason why
item.
They have slowed
No.
things down on their side, Parivision.
I think the chances for them to do more stuff were
I mean, like every
earlier. I think at
time
this
we
point,
think about these like
it's
small
quite
items,
difficult
it's
to
always
use your
determined
heroes.
by like, you
How
know,
do they really start?
like
Realize
fucking
you're
Veil
out of
was
position
OP
with
at one
spirits,
point,
playing
and it's
underneath
like
the
debatably
towers,
good now
playing
again.
in vision, which
Like
they
it's all
have in
about
their
how
jungle,
easy
and
is
then
it to
Vital's
rush these
still
regen
alive.
items, basically.
He's ready to
Regen
go
plus
from there.
stats has like always been a super broken
Teams out
concept
of reaction. Of course, Parivision
in the
pull
early
back
game.
two of them. Frees up the space for Yatoro to continue to get the
On
farm in.
Night Stalker, do you rush Phylactery or go Phase
So
Blitz
far
first?
this
The
A is
problem
not
with
really
Night
interacting with
Stalker is
Morphling
you
at all.
don't farm with just Phylactery. That's like the problem.
He's gonna get the catch on a 9+. Sunstrike's off the mark though.
Like I said, Phylactery heroes, they need to have some semblance of built-in farm mechanics. Otherwise, like you're just a Phylactery hero. So that's why I thought Axe would be so good. Same with Bristle,
Yeah.
because the heroes can farm with just mana. But like a hero like Night Stalker, it wouldn't be good in my opinion.
They need that to, and because that is sort of a clean play that it shouldn't be missing, right?
No. No, that should be a 9+ dead, collapse full HP and continuing to farm here. Him dying matters a lot. They reacted with some heroes.
I'm
both
curious to
supports
see how
coming up.
Morphling ends up playing this game
Doing
because
nothing
he's
for
against
it.
AA,
So not
but
only
you're
did
not
he
like
get
the
killed,
stand
but
right
a
click
little bit of
Morphling
economy on the
anymore.
flip
He's
side,
going
right?
like he's back to
Panic.
E-Blade Morph.
Didn't even think about coming to this.
And they don't
Farming
really
at the
have
same
like
time.
reliable stun setup for
Look
the
towards that
for the
butterfly.
AA blast. Like they have
It is
Monkey
exciting
King,
when
but
you get
it's
to see
like
return
the
of
AA would have to
shotgun
be really
Morphling.
close.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah, it's hard to land.
better than ever, right? With this.
They don't have like a
Phylactery
DK
blade.
or something.
It's got an ultimate orb in it. That's one of Morphling's favorite items.
Yep.
Do you think Treant 3 is
I-
good?
And
Of
it's
course.
also the classic
Go ahead.
answer to Terrorblade. You
I
always
think
go
in
this
this
back
kind of
in the day.
matchups, because
This butterfly
I do
strike
play,
that you
I
play
did
off
play
the
AA
burst.
a lot on my
And he's
career.
got great stuns
And
set up for it.
on
He's
the
getting
matchups
Sunstrike
that is
follow-up
hard
with
for you
ultimate,
to land
get
your
it off in
ultimate,
time.
you just try to
I
find the
wanna
right
see if we can
angle
actually,
and just
what this
use
looks
it
like. It's been
past the
so
hero
long since I've seen shotgun Morphling
that you
get on
want
fish.
to
For sure, I
use
think
it on.
there's
You don't
definitely
need to
the high
land it
potential
on
that
him.
we are gonna
Just
see
Hmm.
these- even these bigger heroes
find
on
the
Parivision
effect.
get 100 to 0
Yeah, for sure.
when Spirit makes that jump.
With the shard, it makes a
Parivision, they've
bigger
gotta be
difference that it
prepared
hits
for
them.
that.
But yeah,
Gonna start coming in with a push here around the
Yeah.
mid.
you don't need it. The
Spirit,
effect
do they
is the
wanna
most
try and do
important
anything
part,
about
though.
this?
So.
Yeah, Panto sort of just walks
No.
up and
Panto?
offers up his life.
What was that?
That's not going to be the start of any sort of defense. This tier 1's going to be going down,
Got
whether Spirit like
deleted.
it or not.
That's a bad feed. They maybe could have taken a fight here, but with that,
Okay, so we are getting closer to the timings that teams
no.
cannot avoid
we
each
walk
other
past the
anymore.
area.
19 Roche, 20 Tormentor,
Looking at the mid tower is
21
huge.
Wisdom.
Gives you more access to get some of these cheeky
So
pickoffs.
this is the time that we
Guys,
need to
the
see
Yules
if this
online,
morph can actually
he's got a little
do
more tools to
something,
go in and
or
out, play that annoying
I don't think
kite
that Dyer
playstyle.
can really do Roche.
His 9 classes signature.
yeah, they will go for Tormentor.
Hmm.
Things are coming on nicely for DM. Greaves into the
Like
pipe,
this timing, teams needs to
coming up
team
next,
fight.
And it's that smoke
Mostly.
from Spirit. They are very interested to make a move. Still, not necessarily with your
Yeah, I mean they
Toro.
definitely need to look to team fight for
Perhaps
sure.
given the
Flap's
space, we'll
setting
see
up
what
on
time they
the
get the chance.
Tormentor.
Because actually, no, Yatoro does want to
Ah,
get
he's going
involved.
for your
He's
Yules.
joining the smoke.
You mentioned Yules
Collapse.
on one of your videos on previous patch on Slardar.
Yeah, that's it's the fun build, dude. Yule's Octarine or Yule's Ajax Octarine.
Now catch 9
Yeah.
class as well as both supports getting caught out here.
It's actually the best build on Slardar if you can get there. In my opinion, it's the best build. If your job is to like blink stun ult, and that's like all your hero needs to offer to the game, which it's like probably 50% of games for Slardar, then I think it's by far the best build. You're just like unplayable against for the opponent. They can't really kill you. You're super durable. You have BKB piercing, minus armor.
Yep.
And being able to take that pretty quickly around the sort of the offensive pressure, the Morph, Slardar, Invoker, and if they want even to drop the wards down as well, they can take that Roshan super quick.
I think that people are sleeping on Midas. I actually think it might. I'm theory crafting it in my head right now. I think it might be a buff to the item.
Get the cleanse on himself.
Because you just get items faster, and items give you more levels. Oh!
That's bad.
The smoke put to waste.
What a beast.
Did he like see Monkey King jump through the trees? Is that how he?
I think so. Yeah.
He caught like a brief glimpse of him. Smoke broke.
Go in and out this game. Parivision, they only have
I mean,
one
this
stun, really.
Invoker's so
really
farmed
count Ogre stun. He's
after
big blob. He
start
can't
that he
get
had.
range to cast him, so it's pretty much just the monkey stun.
I'm telling you, man.
Blows and follow-up damage, which they have
You look at
plenty
these drafts. It's the same as yesterday, where I feel like the team with the worser draft, they're trying, but like I feel like they're playing better on Parivision too, and it just doesn't fucking matter because
Yeah.
it's the power of the draft on these tier 1 teams. I feel like eventually Team Spirit's gonna open up the map a little bit. Eventually their heroes are gonna get space to farm.
but you don't really want to
You
buy
like
into
have the counter like. I don't like the idea of AA here. I think Invoker Slardar, like if I'm an enemy carry, if I'm carry and I'm playing as Invoker Slardar, I'm just fucking sad, man. I'm just really fucking sad. How do I ever win the carry matchup? Like there, I could have 9 items and the enemy carry has 5 and I still lose. Feels so fucking bad, dude.
I mean, this is the thing as well, right? This was after such a dominating start in lane, you know.
I'm pretty sure Invoker, and I think Invoker's getting slept on. Like he's 4-0 right now. I think when I say slept on, obviously teams are picking him. I think he needs to be like a early ban in the draft. If this is what the game looks like when Invoker gets fucking shit stomped in lane, then I don't like I don't know.
Parivision are in place to
No.
basically farm those.
Yeah, not a worry in their mind. That's a free whatever it is, 250, 300 gold.
Oh, yeah, Turo's looking.
Sticking around.
Yeah.
There's no way
Okay,
this.
sure, those. Oh, that blink from Rue wasn't the best.
Would you say he ruined this play?
Yeah, the blink that he made, I think it's.
Is he dead?
Did it? I think.
He's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. Yeah, we just need to land the buff.
That's got to move there. A couple of slip-ups, it feels like, from Rue, right? The Serpent Wars didn't achieve much. Then he tries to make that jump in for the Hex. The
thing with the AA ult is that it will land the buff on you even if you're invulnerable.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that you have to be aware of to abuse it.
Line class? Is this good?
Low ground to high ground? Golem got missed.
High grounding against Warlock Invoker. Kind of worked, I guess.
I mean,
he's alive in 10
just
seconds
miss
on Morph, though.
As Parivision continue to
Yeah.
chase them down, 9 class on top of Rue, the Shaman will fall. And they have to just continue to keep their distance here from this team.
Zoro is back. Now they have the high ground advantage.
Throughout the tornado, but entering into this high ground seems so difficult
A
for
ults
Team
up
Spirit
again.
right now. As Parivision have this position.
Top net worth Satanic TV.
I'm not sure if the tornado was bad or the golem was bad on the tornado. Because those spells shouldn't be landed together.
Yeah, it's just miscoordination, I think. Are they gonna try to sneak this? Oh, come on, Team Spirit. What is this? Did he get hit? Yeah, he got hit by it, like you said, invulnerable.
Yeah.
I think they can do
It also lands
though.
if you... Yeah, it also lands if you Yule yourself.
Morphling cannot do anything while under the effects of that spell.
Sort of a turn of events, though. actually managed to find themselves in a position where they've pushed Parivision out of the pit. Surely Parivision are going to try and say something about this, but it looks like they're not really in any sort of position to do
I mean, you
so.
can't fight into
With the
this.
speed that they take the Roche down,
Yeah.
they are actually going
Invoker,
to be
Fatal
getting
Bonds,
the Aegis.
Serpent Wards.
It's a big deal.
Only Morphling has to hit.
Morphling
Like,
can
it's not
play a
even
little
like
more
they're...
aggressive, worry a little bit less about that blast. Potentially
Hydra OC.
look to take over some
You
more
forgot when you
areas
morph
of
into
their own.
Ogre, you lose all your mana and kind of get screwed. Oh, is that what he did? That's funny.
It is a pretty good TB game. He's playing against the Invoker, but with items, you can fix a lot of the problems that matchup causes.
It's really funny, actually.
Pike, Scotty getting that HP and mana. Suddenly the EMP. And Invoker spells in general are pretty bad against mobility. So once you have that movement speed and the Pike up, it's very difficult to actually connect on your spells without the follow.
I'm always wondering
Ruin,
about
collapse.
the DM play style.
imagine that's the sort
Like
of
you
game
see
you're playing
MMR
against the
as an
team,
offlaner,
are you able to get
he
away
does a
with not
lot.
getting the BKB
33
against
does a
the
lot.
Terrorblade?
I think so.
Ace,
For a
Saberlight,
while,
everyone.
at least. Maybe he buys
But
it
this
if
guy
it's
just
decided,
sits
but before
behind
then,
the
I don't think
teammates,
he's looking
buff
too much
them,
at it.
sometimes
Wow,
tanks
that
for
was
them.
close.
That was very close, yes. Rue nearly finding
Mm.
this
And
one.
they win a
They
lot.
would have had Yutoro around,
The
so
play
could have
style
actually
that
gone pretty
DM
tough there
is
for Parivision.
choosing
The TP
on their
over time
team,
from Satanic.
because I know that he
Parivision
can do
never
more.
fell square on the map.
I saw his gameplay
The
like
hour
2 years
has
ago, 3
arrived.
years ago. I
Shotgun
know that
is
he's good on
completed.
Let's have a
initiation,
look,
I know that
Bellius.
he's
You
good
saw
on
the
farming and
Disperser
dealing
looked pretty
damage.
crazy.
But the player style that
definitely
he's
can.
choosing to play
I think.
on this
I mean, I
game, on this
haven't seen it
team,
yet, but it should. It
It's
should,
always
after the changes.
something new for me. That you can win pro scene with just doing this stuff as a core.
Yutoro,
I think it's
Terrorblade.
largely to do with 9 class, would be my argument. I think that there's like a degree of
Looks like they're not
volatility
afraid to
that a
fight
team
into
can
this,
have.
despite the fact that Yutoro
And I
has the
think
Aegis.
that 9 class on a
Probably
scale
not.
like 1 to 10 is like really high on
Look how he
volatility.
killed that illusion. Oh, God,
Mhm.
it's good.
In terms
Yeah.
of like, not like how well he plays, but in terms of like
A lot of damage and of
the
course,
inconsistency that his
relatively low
heroes
cooldown.
represent in the draft.
on the E-blade.
True.
What was their ward? They wasted Fatal
So I
Bonds
feel
on
like
these two.
there's some sort of balance every team wants to achieve, and I feel like it's... I actually think it's what made Zai the world-class player that he was, is that he could be anything in a team. So he could adjust to literally any type of playstyle that his teammates wanted to play. He could be the 0-5 guy that gets sacrificed. He could be the guy that like solo carries the game on Broodmother in that one the EWC game. Like he could be anything the team needs, which I think is what makes players so good, like him so good. And I would agree. I mean, DM has to be consciously choosing this playstyle, right? Like as a team, they're like, this is what's best for us, because it's not all he can play.
That ward absolutely owns them.
Yeah.
And he may have the shotgun, but Ogre's got a pipe. Ogre's got auras. You mentioned it earlier. This is an auras versus no auras game.
You think Strength Morph mid is really good?
Very much.
My problem with Strength Morph mid is that you can't farm like at all.
Spells as the game goes later.
Like you clear like one big camp with your W and waveform, and I don't know, it feels really bad. I think. I know Thompson plays it a lot, but every game I play him, I'm like, he just can't farm. Oh, is he gonna kill? Oh God, Yotaro got hit. His Aegis though. Wait, did that ethereal? Oh, it's through pipe. That's why.
This game is starting to feel like Spirit are definitely the ones on the back foot. They're not finding
Interesting.
these kills. Collapse is working on the BKB, so we'll be able to commit a little bit better to these fights. And not just get disabled and die, because they need his stuns.
If it was int instead of strength, I feel like Morphling being int instead of strength would make no sense, because he doesn't morph int.
Can't help but feel as well that what's sort of required from both of the carries, it feels like Yutoro has to just do so much more, right? He's got this burst potential, but it seems a lot easier for Satanic to turn
He
up,
thought
press
Spectre would be more
Metamorphosis,
Phylactery,
and just
Orchid,
right-click
Yasha. I
down
don't
the
think
whole
you can
thing.
go
He
Phylactery
does
and
just
Orchid.
stand
I think
there
that's
and
too
hit you
much.
in the head. Yutoro's doing all these fancy tricks, wave the stats up and down, wait for me in, shotgun this guy, and Satanic's me hit.
Yeah,
The build I would try on Spectre is like Phylactery, Radiance, Manta. I think is the build I'd want to try. I think the only item that makes that hero carry is probably Radiance.
To pull off on the Morphling.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyone's capable of pulling it off, though. It is Yutoro.
I mean, she got her old haunt
Morphling,
back, so Radiance is just
2
better.
rings on his fingers, and a whole lot of other tournaments under his belt. He's certainly capable.
Radiant's got nerfed though.
See what he can do.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Spectre.
Hurricane Pike into the
I mean, yeah, I mean,
Surge,
Radiance
by
did
the
get
looks of
nerfed.
on the morph. And continuation for Satanic.
The
No
point of
surprises
Radiance
there,
is
Slardar,
that they
Primarily
can
to-
farm double camp.
Yeah, farm double camps, and then you can cancel blinks in fights, which Spectre is like the best hero in the game for.
Ooh, jumping into the river. Now let's try and burst through DM.
He's dead.
sorry,
Oh, Laurel!
Holy shit.
Laurel! Oh my god, he literally tornado griefed himself.
He's having a BKB and run. No one's going to jump forward. Yatoro's trying to stand his ground and
Like,
fight
he's
back.
Quab.
He
I think he
has
can
to
actually
use the
own this
blink
fight
to
on
get out
Yatoro.
of there.
And he might have died there, but Laurel messed up his spell casting.
He can go in on
as the
Yatoro, can't
Cataclysm
he?
was hitting.
Yeah.
At least Yatoro will get back in him. Get some revenge there on that.
How I got the vision from wards?
Ice blasting him.
I don't know.
Blow up Ducalis.
Okay, this Queen of Pain steal looks really strong.
Like, how much wards are giving vision?
And then shotgun a guy in a waveform
With the
out.
burst. And with the extra burst, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the lack of dispel,
Yep.
or sorry, the lack of catch rather that Parivision has.
Yeah, I was
that's
gonna
be a
say,
real
he's
problem
like
dealing
really
with
OP
this.
if he's Quap, I think.
You've only got Monkey Stun. Ogre Stun is just not gonna hit him.
No, it's very true. We are seeing that in these fights, Yatoro, he might get ice blasted, but he can run away.
Yeah, he's everywhere with the blink. And stopping Morphling from transforming into you is just not a real option. Even if you buy Lincoln's, he can just break it with Adaptive Strike and then steal you right after.
I think I just realized
If he wants to
that
cosplay
because of
Quap
that
this entire game,
Glipnir,
he's more than capable of doing
Invoker debuff on the Invis got into creep, and 9 class saw it.
Ah.
I'm not sure if that was the case, but I don't think that the Invis AoE
Would have normally
is
hit
that
it.
much.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I think it's getting increased
They
by the
know.
by the Glipnir.
But it doesn't matter if they know, because they're not getting him.
In 9 class.
It feels like you just cannot spend any time trying to hunt down the Monkey King. It's not going to be time well spent.
An expert in annoyance.
Item build on the monkey.
Of course
Very,
not.
very close game though.
It really is. It really is. To have it sort of get to this 32-minute mark and again barely see the net worth jump, drastically in either team's direction for this
So I
first 30
think we
minutes.
are going for next rush fight.
Pretty crazy. The big
Oh, he has
continue
Silver
to
Edge queued up on
fly
Morph.
out.
That's
No
interesting.
one- Now got himself the Shiva's Guard. Still seeing Lyle trying to get towards the
My
Ultra
favorite
Effect.
item in Dota is Manta, then Radiance, and then Silver Edge.
Spirit most definitely
I love Silver Edge.
have the ability
But
to
it's been
scale this
garbage
game,
for,
but
like,
so do Parivision. It's a good
4
TB
patches or something.
game. Satanic is an amazing TB player.
But anytime these items are good, my
I mean,
MMR
really
naturally
gonna
goes
come
up.
down to,
'Cause I love
who's
buying
gonna
them.
get the Satanic TB or the
You don't need to
Yatoro
give me an
War?
excuse to buy fucking Silver
Which
Edge,
is
but
the
I mean it
more
needs to be
powerful, both of them
meta
have
enough
pretty even
to buy it.
playing ground so far here in this 30 minutes.
I did think the changes have been adding up a lot for Silver Edge. It keeps getting
Fantastic
buffed.
kinda classic carry matchup on two
I
players
miss
in the play.
15
Arguably
all
one of
stats
the
Silver Edge.
best
Those were the
carry hero.
days.
Absolute treat.
Laurel's in the danger zone.
They've got the
Danger zone!
Balance strikes there. No one's in with the jump. Backup's coming in for Lalo. Turning the tornado off. Doesn't matter. Sonic Wave comes through. They burst the Invoker. Should be able to get something in return. No one wants to continue.
Oh,
to push
that's
forward
a
on the
bad
front. They
ult.
dodge the Ice Blast Team Spirit, but Panto
Holy
getting
shit,
destroyed here.
the
Right
range.
clicks are Satanic.
He must have attack
Parivision will
range
get the two
neutral.
of them.
Yeah.
Won't quite lose anything themselves.
He's Monkey
And the
King on
E-Blade
more.
actually kind of saves him there with the pipe, the glimmer, so much resistance.
Yeah, I think he actually needs to be careful of
He
E-blading.
He probably would have died with the amp. It's
There
not
is a lot
looking
of
as good as I would have hoped.
dysynergy
That's one of
between
the downsides of
or asynergy
particularly having that
between
E-Blade setup.
Morph
You do
and
have one of
Slardar
these
here.
heroes as a Slardar.
Yeah.
He wants to get the right clicks in.
Yeah, just
He's going
hit.
to get punished for
Oi.
that.
I don't
Nice.
know what on earth he was doing there, but that's not a good feed.
I mean, he had a
That's
Midas.
not a good feed.
You got a Midas, you got a Midas.
Okay,
Thank
fair
you,
enough.
Quinn.
You know what? I take it back. I take it back. All good, brother.
Yeah, Silver Edge with the crit in it was pretty broken
As
too.
we can see, it's going to be just under a minute until it's up, so we'll at least be
My
time
favorite
for
was the
Parivision
15
to
all
move
stats
back
because
in
that's
the
when it
game
was
here,
really good on Slark.
test it. I would imagine, I don't think Parivision need to be afraid of approaching that fight right. Last time round we saw Spirit being able to just sort of take
Back
it
then,
off
I thought
Parivision.
Silver Edge was just like
This
objectively
was
the
able to push
best
Spirit away,
carry
but
item.
Spirit
It's
just came
like
back into the pit and did so
attack
quickly.
speed, damage,
Surely Parivision don't
invis,
wanna let
and all
Spirit
stats.
get
Like
in the
what?
lead.
What else does a carry
Yeah.
want
Body
actually?
online, but the meta's still cooldown for 35.
They will probably be waiting for that.
They should be fine because your Roche is going to spawn on the other side
This is
anyway.
interesting to me
Analyst
that
Work's immediately
by
gonna
the
catch
draft,
timing and
without
destroy
it's
Roche.
simpler for Team Spirit
risky
to execute their
to be
draft.
scouting tools and Parivision.
But
If you're
now
scanning
that
the pit, you get
I
hit last,
see
cool, bow
the
away.
item builds, I think it feels
But it is gonna be tough,
easier
Roche, and that
for
does favor
Parivision
Spirit having the
to
outpost right
fight.
here. Maybe have
Mm.
buybacks
They
for
stay
some of the supporting
together,
tasks.
they
Right now,
right click the ground,
only buyback
and I don't think that Team
on
Spirit has enough damage to
Blue
kill
and
them.
Collapse.
Hmm. He has the Grimoire
Starting to build
stuff.
up some more items, though. Looks like he is gonna get the chance
On
to
Warlock.
scale up into that.
Yeah, I don't know actually. I don't know who. I see what you're
delay game
saying.
that we see sometimes.
I feel like map play is easier for Team Spirit though.
Roshan up and both teams
I do think map play
soon to find
has like a
out.
weird relationship as time goes
close in
on in
on
the
the
game.
area.
Like, obviously there's more team fights that you have to happen later on in the game, but also like map play
Satanic ready to start it off.
becomes more and more
Straight to
important in
the
the
pit.
sense that the easiest way to kill people is when they're showing on lanes and stuff.
Little Forge Spirit spawns.
Yeah, it's like
They'll head over and
it's
Parivision.
harder to
They'll
do,
try and get
but it's
themselves in a
more
good
important to
position
do.
to
Yeah,
start up for this
yeah.
defense. Let's have a look
They
at
have
Spirit.
Nullifier
They
on
also
Collapse
wanna
if he
go for some
sells his
sort of
wand here.
smoke move, maybe some wrap
Oh, I think he
around.
needs like one creep.
They can have a pretty good idea of where Parivision is
Yeah,
going
they're
to be
giving him
waiting
one
for
creep.
them. Nullifier is now online for Collapse, so an even easier time to just jump in and fully commit
Also, I
onto
was talking
someone.
with one of my students. You just mentioned
Just
Nullifier. I just realized it.
Definitely
I was talking
greatly
with one of my
diminished.
students, and
get
the change on the
Nullifier
Disperser
onto 9
is so
class.
good for the carries because
He's a
they
city
always had this problem with the cream zone, with the pipes, with those kind of stuff, and not all the carries like to buy Nullifier.
Well, you can't
But now this
dispel Pipe or
Disperser-
Crimson anyway.
Both sides
I think it's on the
to head into the
on
pit
Dispatch you can.
before they can take a team fight.
No, they literally nerfed
And here's the
or they
wraparound
buffed
from Spirit.
Crimson so it can't be dispelled. And
See if
Oh,
Parivision
okay.
is
Pipe
ready
didn't
for
get
this sort
changed.
of move to come in from this angle.
They're
I thought
breaking on a
it's
lot of
the
good
other
spots.
way.
Spirit
My
going
bad
a
then.
long way.
Yeah, for me, the thing about Disperser
Listen.
that's
Cool.
nice is that you have a stat item you can buy that gives you a dispel. Like, it's
I
a
know.
defensive dispel and an offensive dispel. So, like, there are carries in the late game that needed a dispel and a nullifier, and they couldn't play the game. So, like, for Slark, for instance, his late game is way better because you can go early defusal, and then later on, when a lot of carries would want, like, a satanic, Slark can go Disperser instead of nullifier, which is, like, way better. for him.
Yeah.
I think it just makes certain carries have way better late games because there are definitely carries that hate buying nullifier,
Very
Yeah.
risky.
and so I
Despite
think
there's so much about who gets
I do think
initiation.
the Disperser is really nice for those carries.
Parivision again
True.
are gonna start. At least have a
I mean, the big thing about
Nullify
or Disperser also is it replaces boots on a lot of heroes,
Have the Sunstrike to scout,
Yeah,
they're gonna press the
that's
up
true
button,
also.
so
they
you
gotta get out of
can
the soup.
get the effect of a
Yeah, that's what
nullifier
he wants
without
to be in the soup.
losing your move
Yes,
speed.
with the BKB, he does sort of feel that there's not too much he has to fear.
Yeah.
So he can be a little more aggressive.
I
now
honestly
with
think
his
nullifier is
positioning.
like more of an offlaner item now.
Coming down to
like
about
mid to
half
late game.
HP.
Yeah.
Just gives you just some armor and
Both teams just
the
knowing
effect.
how important this Roche is. The state of the game with how close it currently
Big
is.
fan of Silver Edge Swift Blink
So
on
hard to
heroes
run
like
these
Morph,
little areas
Gyro,
where teams
Luna
really
when
break
you
exposed.
can't really stand your ground and hit.
Big
fan. Is he gonna turn into Quap or? Dude, why didn't he turn into Quap?
Oh!
Does Quap have a Lincolns? No, he could have just done that.
Take that any day of the week. Oh, a little bit of a pause.
He died with a Diven
And, what's going on here? Any
AA
translations?
ult, and I like the
Well,
positioning of Dukalis.
well,
Like he
back
was
on with the
standing
game.
on the
Try.
cliff,
No, I think it was
around the
unfriendly
cliff,
stuff.
to have a larger AoE on the ultimate for Roche
And
fights.
what happened to Yatoro in that fight? Got
Yeah,
stuck in the pit somehow with Waveform and Pike on cooldown. I don't know if he messed up his spell
No,
casting or
yeah,
what.
that's right. He didn't have
He must
either
have
of them to
messed up
play with.
something.
I mean, there's no way you can take this fight without
No,
your
they,
Morphling.
and to 9 he's gonna
Oh,
find
no.
it. The trees collapse. Collapse was sort of stuck there after he blinked out. He's gonna put the BKB and sprint away.
Keep his force.
He has the.
So he'll live.
Is Nightclass dead?
Died. Panto will die.
Oh, the Sunder.
Satanic coming in and
Nice.
offering up his buddy a Sunder.
Wow.
As,
Sunder
he
with no
knows there's
satanic
fear of
fog.
any fight kicking off with how they're able to deal with Spirit like that and just take this Roshan, get this.
Do I
stage
think
for
Team
itself.
Spirit
Yeah, we're
is
gonna have to
still
watch
a
that
good
replay again,
team?
'cause it absolutely
Of course.
must have just been a rare mistake there from Yatora to die
World-class
in the fashion that he
players.
did. Let's watch
I
it.
mean, I
So
thought
Wave doing
Maposhka
very
was the most.
aggressively.
Oh, he fucked it up.
No, he piked up into the upper corner of the pit instead of over the wall. He
I
turned
do
a
think
long
Maposhka
way.
is like one of the it may be the best captain in the entire
That's
world.
that's an
Rare
awful
mistake.
mistake. Yeah, that's what.
So having no
I mean,
Maposhka definitely
Protoss
makes a
maybe
difference.
Just didn't use it. Yeah, you know, I don't know what it's called, but that keybind. You
Yeah,
know, you
the
play SF.
directional move thing.
Yeah, so you don't have that sort of trying to walk one way, and then by the time you
And
pop the.
they are
double
top
press the
3 on
hurricane
every
pike, your
tournament
character
recently.
Yeah.
started to
I was
turn.
gonna say with recent
So it's
performances, aren't they
now
like
hurts big
they're
time.
literally
They're
in
trying
top
to get
3
the
right
catch on
now?
no one.
Mhm.
What the heck?
He's dead.
They should have it.
Wait, Ducalis was
Where did Ducalis die? He died
He
to
died to the
Sunburn.
fucking. He died to the cataclysm.
That was last
Yeah.
gets a bit of a bonus in that situation.
He was trying to TP somewhere.
Okay, well I guess they just lost the game, or what? What am I watching?
A pretty sort of carefully calculated first 35 minutes, I'd say, of gameplay. Things are starting to
He
get a
got
little bit crazy
distracted.
from both sides. You
Was
know,
that
first
just
of
the
all, we had
pause plus
some
lag?
Spirit with Yatora making a bit of a mistake around the pit. And then just
Yeah.
like
That was
that,
crazy
they-
shit right there.
Parivision, they might have got the Aegis secured on Satanic, but he's probably sitting there watching his teammates being like, guys, team, what are we doing? Why are we
Hello?
dying like this?
You guys, just
Yeah.
play around me. I've got the Aegis. That's,
Yeah.
that's always the comms. Guys, I'm strong. And then I
Niklas-
what's
Oh,
Yeah, maybe some sort of cursed
God.
Aegis here.
They
get
just
it as a
imploded
team
it.
And Satanic's like, I pick up this Aegis, and my teammates just start dying everywhere.
Spirit
What's going on?
doing too
They
many
just get
Spirit things.
globally team wiped. It's like those pubs or Zeus has refresh orb and just goes.
I
pow,
personally
pow.
think
Another loose
Slardar
towers hit. The mid push
is
going
only a
in for
late game
Spirit.
beast because of how good his talents are. I think he
Parivision,
has
I think they're gonna
two
be
of the
a bit
best talents
sort
in
of
the
saying
game.
to themselves
What do you
there,
think?
What did we just do?
They might lose
I
two
like
of
his
their
talents.
teams.
Yes.
And I think,
Deity
yeah,
and
what you're
Toro, that
saying
is,
is true.
It's a Monak-esque.
I think he's a late game monster.
Yeah, I just think his
I think
level
it's too
20,
hard.
25 talents are like two of the strongest ones in the game.
Parivision,
Yeah,
they gotta
true.
pull themselves together. They just got
You were gonna
raised,
say
managed
something,
to
I didn't
make an
realize you were
excellent
gonna
play,
continue, so I
and then it
interrupted
just
you.
subsequently has gone very much
No, I mean,
downhill.
it's
The
just
East
to
Aegis power play
confirm your
is a
words.
9K lot.
Hmm.
You don't see that enough.
He's going.
Like
He's
a
actually
Slardar
going.
after
go
level-
It's
ahead.
not much of a power play at
Sorry,
all.
started after
Parivision-
level 20
Power play for
talents.
Spirit, man.
He's
Yeah.
just start his
This
play.
is now the biggest goal
Yeah.
that we've seen so far this game.
Yep.
Probably the most
Aegis.
game-changing level
Oh,
20
well,
that I
they-
can think of.
2.5 minutes, maybe
Because
they'll
you
pick
can
something
one-shot
back
creep
up
waves all of a sudden, which is
during
just
the
like
rest of the Aegis timer, but
Yeah.
things continue
having
to
a
grow
hero
into
that
Spirit across the
doesn't
map.
really
They
have
get
innate
Tormentor
farming,
on top.
and then now he's able to one-shot creep waves. It's even better now that the flag bearer creeps got buffed as the game goes on.
What the heck? Is this Honda? Is this how you build it
Mhm.
now? I don't even know.
And creep waves give more gold as the game goes on, so Slardar is even more of a late game beast,
Doesn't
actually.
necessarily break anything important in this game, but he just has slot issues and didn't want to sell his boots yet. I
That's
believe
actually a weird purchase, the
kinda
Conda. I
deal
feel like
I'm surprised he
surprised he
didn't sell
bought it.
Phylactery for something else, though.
I'm surprised he
Feels like
bought it.
He does want to keep up the shotgun build, thinks it's valuable. I guess whenever you sell the Conda, you're sort of
Yeah, I thought he's going to
kind of
sell
grease
it.
your E-blade a little bit.
But it's hard for him anyway to right-click in
It's
this
a little
game, I
bit
guess.
stronger.
So he's still relying on the shotgun strategy.
Yeah, I think sort of that after that last series of events.
Yeah, I feel like the
he's
Swift
gotta lock
Blink
in
was
to
better
try
for
and
that.
carry the boys on
But
this
maybe
one
he
if they're
just,
gonna be making
since the
those
DM
sort of,
hex, he's like, if I
rough sort
Swift
of
Blink
moves
in,
and
I'll
getting
just
caught out
die.
like that. Of course, he's still in great position to do so. The most farmed hero in the game here, Satanic.
Okay,
But, can he
Brian, you said
outcarry
that
Spirit?
the 20 talent of Slardar you think is the best talent
Yeah.
on level 20.
If not
Which
top,
talent
like,
is the
three.
worst?
Yeah. Worst level
Which-
20
which-
talent,
But they
Life
got
Stealer.
attacks on the
Yeah.
E, and that will change these dynamics. No BKB
Let me check.
Toro.
That's Life is
Because there's
Steal.
so few stuns, he's gone for the slippery build, but
Life is Steal,
when you
movement
turn
speed
into a
and
pig,
health.
it's hard to be slippery.
Yeah, I know one worse.
What's that?
Does Satanic want to hit the base? 50
Mirana.
seconds left on the Aegis.
Mirana has an
The
insane level 20 talent.
See what the calls
No,
will be.
the left one, the left.
Oh, well,
He's
I'm
gonna
saying
try and
that
force this here.
between the two options that they have to take.
Ah, yeah. Between the two options. Okay.
What's her left
Defense
one?
comes out from Spirit.
35 damage, base damage.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's pretty bad. Yeah, for me, Life Stealer has the worst combined two talents. Like, both of them
Going
suck
down.
ass.
Obviously, you've got to bear in mind the Aegis timing.
Like, when I'm Life Stealer and I get level
20
20, I'm like, great.
Spirit are going to look to try and strike at this key timing coming in with the wrap.
Mo-
round. Off the
Yatoro?
side, though. Yatoro's gonna put the
Okay, he
match and
didn't get
away
hit
from
by
the
it.
Ice Blast. He'll
Nice.
escape. Tornado and Cataclysm
Who's
again,
dead?
kind of coming in at awkward timings from one to another. does end up that the Cataclysm doesn't really do anything at all.
We're doing 20
They are
tiles?
really good at.
I'm gonna get the Yules onto Panto. Still get the chance to drop the Golem, but Panto
They are
will
really good
die
at
for
dodging
this.
this
Satanic's gonna turn quickly, destroy the Golem.
meta every fight.
Obviously on that bottom lane.
But this time I'm not sure if they can
They're not
dodge it.
finished yet. No one jumping in. I'm gonna try and stick around maybe to get the full set of barracks there. They get the catch here on towards Yatora.
I don't think he dies. Yeah.
Not enough to lock him down. Still gets out with the wave.
That's a big sheep.
Shackle in return down on towards Satanic.
Really big.
Well,
Oh,
not
is it
so bad,
direct?
though. Satanic's
No,
able to break
didn't
out of
die.
it.
I've never seen a bloodlusted
Charge
sheep, I
watching with the
think. At
trees.
least
They
I've
can
never
start to
noticed it
retreat
closely.
here. Collapse is gonna try and do
No.
this
They have no,
Gets him with the jump cross
meta.
from Satanic. Let's turn his attention towards DM instead, but the Hex is there, out on towards him, gets pushed back by the Sonic
Okay,
Wave.
the blinks are closed with the Ogre second spell.
Want to try and turn this fight.
I honestly think these E-Blades are kind of griefing.
Very tanky. Another round, they have to drop the Serpent Wards as well, just to
Okay.
make sure they get a kill out of this.
Okay, he's got level
They will
25 on
get it
collapse.
At the end of it all, but the time and space is there for the rest of Parivision to back off.
He took the
They're gonna be
undispellable
very
talent, I
content
think.
with that push they got away
Yeah,
with
I
at
mean,
the end of
that's
day.
the only
Just
one you
getting
took.
melee racks and forcing Spirit to expend two of
The
their
only
items.
counter to Slardar in the past was
Definitely
dispelling
will.
his ult.
It feels really hard when
Mm-hmm.
Parivision is clumped up like that for Spirit to actually commit into them. This Warlock and Shadow Shaman are just fish food. They just disappear to anything that comes their way.
Any hero that used to have like 5 items that counter him late game and now they no longer counter him is like instinctually broken. Like it just has to be. Like back when Sven got his shard so that Warcry can't be dispelled anymore, the hero was broken for like 3 patches or something because they had to nerf Warcry like 4 times.
Yeah, it just seems
No.
so much more smooth.
Because like the thing is, if I have a shard that makes Warcry not dispellable, you can't itemize to dispel it, so I don't even have to go shard. Like you just
Yeah.
you just can't itemize for it.
in this sort of
Which
hero
is
to hero
stupid.
matchup at this point, especially when the Terrorblade at this point is coming close to being sort of two major
The 2
items
talents for
ahead
Slardar
of
guys are a
Morphling.
talent that makes his
Nearly
Slithering Crush
40k
one-shot
net
creep
worth pretty
waves,
soon.
and then the other talent is
Satanic here, 46 minutes in,
Undispellable Corrosive Haze,
having
so...
quite the game throughout all the chaos.
And like the whole way to counter Corrosive Haze is
He's
to
got the
dispel it,
Metamorphosis
so...
duration talent, so 80-second Metamorphosis. There's no kiting this spell anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
He's meted in every fight,
80-second
guaranteed.
meta? What the fuck?
Tora has got the Lincoln, so a little bit of extra protection to allow him to commit into the fight.
Oh, he took that talent, I see.
But it really is going to take some masterful play from him to be able to pick apart Parivision in these team fights. Super difficult game.
Yeah, like I'm really surprised that Konda's not a Swift
Losing
Blink.
their melee racks here, Spirit. Got to try and regain control of the lane, see if they can set up for the next Roche, and see if they can find some sort of way to just catch this Terrorblade in the team fights. Satanic has been pretty much untouched in the last few team plays. They can't really stop the Terrorblade from doing the damage, getting the work done.
And they're trying to hold this hill, not give this area back to Parivision. They were
He has the
holding for
build,
last
dude. He
first
did the
fight.
build. He
Each
went
one's
fucking
super
Oct 3 and
early.
Wind
Yeah.
Waker.
That's good news for
That's
Spirit.
funny.
And it's not going to roar because Parivision killed it last time.
Yeah, Spirit could take this down immediately before Parivision even have the chance to
I
think
think give
about
up
the
Roche.
It's very fortunate for them that it's such a quick spawn.
I think Parivision is going to hold their hard grounds
That means refresher
for
cheese,
the next 5 minutes.
whole 9 yards. Now
Quap has a
Windmaker
late Blade Mail. I don't think he's had that
collapsed, so
for
if
all
they
the
try
game.
for these
Did he?
burst plays,
No, he had, yeah, first item.
Quap's
Oh, he
come-
had
can
first
come in
item
with
Blade
the
Mail.
clutch save, and he's got a refresher
Yeah.
as well, so he can do most of them even.
Yeah, really, they've probably got to have Collapse be the one.
Yeah, I'm pretty
someone has to be
sure
the
if
one
they
to
were
get
to
the
remove
jump onto the
Slardar's
Terrorblade. Like, I feel like if
20
you're dropping
talent,
anyone else in these
he
team
would be a
fights, the
mediocre
Terrorblade
hero
is
at
just gonna
best.
kill you.
Like, I actually think it's that
Need to
pivotal for
find
the hero.
An open area where you can kite him and move around
True.
him, sort of hold him in place with Invoker spells, Tornado, EMP. We got the refresher on Laurel, so we can do a lot of stalling to this TB, potentially kill the illusions or at least disable them.
Look, Slardar does a lot
Spirit
if
finds
your team
others.
understands. Gives you Tormentor,
They're
gives
very
you
smart right now.
Roche,
Quap's
gives
running down
always gives you damage
bottom lane.
Yeah.
to kill the tanky heroes or any kind of heroes.
Not any real
Shoves
pressure, so
waves,
kinda just farming
and
everywhere else on
you
the
can
map.
understand when you have a Slardar, you are not in
Insecurities
rush,
there's
because
no
that
way
guy
we can
scales
high
very
ground
well.
this too hard. So instead, we're going to economy. We're going to get to 6 slots. This game's going to go long.
I think so, right?
We need to be really strong.
And yeah, because I think they need to. They need to sort of get that extra item online so they have the means to take down the Terrorblade. I mean, we're seeing already, even the illusions alone, they're not easy for Spirit's heroes to kill off. The illusions are very strong.
problem. Pops gets the Watcher. Ooh, I think they see the ward with that gem, right? Yeah.
Ooh.
Yatoro is keeping them in
That's
base
fucking
mode,
weird
like,
glitch.
ratting this top lane. They're gonna have to keep responding. He's doing it with the TB illusions, stealing from Morphling.
Somebody in my chat just said something very strange.
It's kind of keeping Parivision pinned in. They want to deward that ward. The 9 class is stalking it.
Any progress on making the English YouTube channel, or have you not started it?
And they know this hill's warded too. You
No, I'm trying to
These players know the perimeter
understand
that ward gives,
which
how
way
Yatoro
is
goes
the
into deward.
like the not the best way, but at least a little bit efficient to start it.
Try and look
Makes
towards
sense.
Satanic, but Satanic's ready
The
to
Wind Waker!
turn. Gonna surround him. Cataclysm comes in, but again, for the most part,
Okay.
The
Hey.
fuck? Why'd he get used by somebody on the other
tries
team?
to push back Satanic.
He has
No
Aegis.
one jumping in,
Right.
pushing back the rest of Spirit,
Aegis
ready
is
for the
out.
chase down. Law will be able to back up with the Ghost World collapse,
If
ready to get back
Parivision
down
could
towards no one.
regret,
Yatoro, he's gonna
like
back up
retreat
now
this
that the
fight,
Aegis has
it
been
would be
taken
great
from
for
him.
them.
Outside of the Aegis going away, taken out of his hands. No one else to fall in this fight.
That ward is a really bad place
Yatoro
for
has
this fight.
made
So
like,
clumped,
4
just run
misplays
in
this-
and Satanic.
or 5. With waveforming in.
DM though.
Oh, it's a risky position. Rue's gonna catch him.
Oh.
Gets him with a hex, drops down the serpent wards. They bring the cataclysm. There's nowhere to save him. At the same time, collapse. Takes him to get the shot
Actually,
over on
I,
Satanic.
very rarely do I do this, but
Tornado
I'm gonna
control.
criticize
Satanic
Yatoro's
could be
item build
unleashed.
in a,
Outside will
in a
be
bit
able to
here.
use the Thunder to get back up
Like
at
after
full
the game
HP
ends,
as
I'm gonna
he
talk
takes it
about
out
it,
for 9 class.
regardless if they win or lose.
No.
Spirit. Let's give a bit of respect again here to Satanic.
Force the buyback.
Back away. No one trying for the chase here. I mean, Spirit, they're considering maybe
Ault is
jumping in
back
towards
again.
Satanic, and there they are. They're in with the crush. Tornado
Oh.
comes in.
He landed the ult on Morph.
He's low on mana here, and his
He has,
Top right,
he has Q's
cameraman.
swap though. Oh wait, no, it ran out. Okay.
Double kill for Lal. DM still wanting to
But
fight
without
because they've got the buyback
Satanic
to
meta,
kill.
like,
Most
they can't
supports here
kill
for
anybody.
Parivision coming with the buybacks.
No.
Collapse.
He's like all of their
Closes in,
damage.
crosses both DM and Satanic. Satanic, he'll turn.
Pop doesn't have
Collapse.
Ags.
Collapse finds 9 class the second time. That's a dieback on 9 class. Room return will fall. Satanic still.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh.
He's going to turn towards Yatoro. They're going to kind of.
It's a
corner him
dieback.
at the start.
2 diebacks. 3
Nice.
diebacks.
Dieback on both of the supports. It's just left down to Satanic and no one.
He has no mana
Good,
for
Satanic
Thunder.
will put the BKB,
Oh!
look at the Thunder,
Oh!
the Because is there. That's Satanic dead.
Wind Waker
No
Pog.
one. Can him and Satanic actually hold this? Satanic's coming with the buyback.
Wind Waker is
They're
like.
now 2 against 4.
Wind Waker is my favorite
Spirit
item in
pick
Dota. I
them
just don't get to
apart
buy it
and
very
kill
much.
them off multiple
I
times.
take back what I
Bring
said
the
earlier.
buyback
Out of the
to
items, I get to
Parivision
buy.
for them.
Oh my gosh.
The Wind Waker's the funnest item in Dota, I think.
Unbelievable. That was one of those masterful team fights I've seen in years.
True.
Good grief, this guy is good.
I mean, no one's. Can they stop them here?
It's really weird
They've got
to
a
see
fortification.
Quinn as a caster talking
Yatoro's
so
on with the
highly
push.
of other players
Friend Satanic as well.
when that's like the complete
They need to
opposite
buy time
of
here,
how he is as a
Parivision, for the
player.
rest of the team to
Something about it
respawn.
bothers me. I don't know what it
The
is.
mid-rack's gone. Spirit ready to swing across towards the top set as well.
It feels like very
Damage
fake.
being done here by Spirit. We'll see how much more they feel
Very
they can
what?
get
Sorry?
away with. They
Fake.
want to try for a third set of barracks.
Ah.
Still got a little bit of
It's
time.
like this guy spent
There's no buybacks on
99% of
any
his
heroes.
career flaming everybody, and then hearing him in the games praising them, it just feels weird.
Spirit, they're taking so much collapse, even getting the jumping on towards Satanic. No one's gonna be there to keep him safe. Tornado
And
will
it's
clip
not
onto
meant to be a
Satanic.
straight bash on
Cataclysm
Quinn. It's just
coming
something
in,
about it
it's
rubs me the
right
wrong way.
side, no one pushes them back with the Sonic Wave. They've got the fortification back up. 9 class in on the game now with the Wukong's command, but Collapse, he's gonna look to try and find him in the trees. We'll get in on top of him. Collapse.
Alright, it's
Wind Waker
funny
back
because I
to
have
safety.
different
Further
opinion, total
respawns
different
coming in
opinion.
now. No one
What's
pops
your
the
opinion?
refresh
About
and he's ready to
Queen.
force back Spirit in an attempt to keep that final racks alive.
yeah. I think the behavior
Do they
that
wanna try and get back into
he
finish this
has on the
Everybody's
pop
back up now in
max,
Parivision. Yatoro, he's in with the jump, tries to burst
it's
Satanic. Satanic's gonna
very
respond
very
straight away with a
different
BKB.
on his real life.
Spirit
I think
don't quite
pop
get the
match
megas,
just
but they get everything
are
The
maybe
top
too
lane,
hard
the
for him
mid-racks,
to
half of the
stand.
bottom racks.
But as
The
a
damage
person,
done, Spirit now with a 30
like
2K
whenever he
lead.
talks, he goes to
Parivision
interview or he
definitely
tries
gonna
to
be
explain
wondering where all
something,
went
and I
wrong
hear
in
that,
bottom fight.
I see
I think they maybe
respect,
could've gotten the megas
I
there,
see
but they were
knowledge,
kinda- they were
respect,
messing around with the kills. Parivision
and
baited them in very well,
communication skills.
sort of standing
But on
in that
pop match,
line,
you're right.
maybe,
On
oh,
pop
maybe
match,
you
he
kill me,
tries
but they
to
can't.
flame
They waste
and do
time,
this
they
stuff.
waste
But
right
other
clicks,
than
and the
pop match,
Mega survives.
he's very very legit person to me.
But 30
Oh, I mean, I like talking with Quinn a lot. Like I've had a lot of good conversations with Quinn, so you know, what last thing I want people to do is be like, Be a shit hates Quinn or something. It's like, I mean, that tends to be how people turn these type of conversations, and I'm not saying you did that. I'm just saying, like, you know, this is not meant to be me attacking Quinn as a person. It's me. I could talk about what we're about to talk about. This is like a whole deep subject for me, at least. Which, you know, this game's actually exciting enough that I want to resume this conversation at the end of the game.
Okay.
Or if there's like a break in action. Yesterday our games were kind of like whatever, so like the game's kind of stomped, so we had much more time to talk about other stuff.
What's the quick call from Parivision? Are you running it down a lane?
Okay, it looks like the game's gonna settle down, so
it's so hard against Invoker, Shadow Shaman. They've got so many stuns, so many spells to repel you.
I learned this lesson with my partner. Okay, so I want to preface this with I truly believe 99% of people are doing the best they can at any given moment. I believe that like 99% of people as a whole, but also their actions are not ill-intended. Okay, so I want to preface it with that.
That's what I'm saying.
Basically,
I'm curious what they think about here whenever they're not
what I learned
in the game.
Was that if somebody gives a different version of themselves in different scenarios,
so I imagine at this point you can see right why Parivision are using the buybacks, right?
It makes it a lot harder to
They are strong enough to take this team fight.
I think a huge part of
to feel comfortable around them, because you don't know what you're gonna get because they're unpredictable. In a way that's not pleasant to be around. So like the example that was used, like a very basic example, like I remember having this happen in high school, was when a girl's really nice to me because she likes me, but she's like really mean to one of her friends that I like. That's like an example where I see this person and I'm like, oh, she's really nice. And then if the girl were to tell me she's actually really mean to me, like for me, that doesn't compute because all of my experiences with her are nice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what happens is, if that is the behavior, like say this girl's being really nice to me and really mean to the girl, it naturally creates an argument and distrust between me and my friend who have different perspectives on the same person, but we're both being truthful. You know, it's like neither of us is lying to each other. We're not gossiping. We just are getting different experiences of the same person. So then it confuses people around them. Does that make sense? Like it really confuses people.
I totally understand, and most of these things are kind of a anger issue.
Yeah. And so I say what sits wrong with me is not that I think Quinn is being purposely disingenuous when he's like complimenting players. But for me, it's the same idea as like being nice to one person and mean to another. You're nice to me when you're watching me play, but you're not nice to me when you're playing with me. Like for me, that it's always like some underlying problem that the person has, like mentality related. Like we all have problems, so it's like I guess for me, I strive to be as consistent as I possibly can. But like I ran into this problem a lot as a streamer because I was a different person on stream than I was in real life. And deep down I knew it, but at the time people would be hating me for reasons that I didn't think were true to me. But in reality it's like a part of me because I'm acting that way a certain amount of the time. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I can simultaneously really enjoy having conversations with Quinn while also not at all being a fan of the way he acts in pubs. And it can also rub me the wrong way that he is then so nice and complimentary to all the players when he's casting. Like, to me, it feels really weird to watch.
I don't know. Somebody said something.
And it,
I've never seen him
you know, this is, I don't know how to say it. Maybe this I like talking to you about this stuff, and I know talking about on stream stuff like this can get words twisted and stuff. But yeah, it's less about Quinn and more about the dynamic of when somebody's like this in one scenario and like this in another scenario. It's very hard to feel comfortable around them. That's like the main takeaway.
Yeah, I'm not going to continue this.
Who knows if they can
Like,
see Sunstrikes now or not?
Like having how they said. I'm not going to continue this conversation because it's like there will be like mistakes from it.
Mistakes,
but I totally understand. Yeah, I totally understand the feeling that you have about this concept, because I totally understand it when somebody is acting different in like some situations, gives you mixed signals. But like the reason that I mentioned the things that I like from Queen is like because I try to study this guy, and I wasn't trying to say that you are trying to say he's a bad guy or anything.
Yeah.
I was just like, maybe you didn't see his interviews like I did, or maybe we have different opinions, because I remember that Queen mentioned that he has some insecurities, and those stuff are leading these behaviors on pub match. So that was my reason that I said I have different opinion about Queen, because I remember that he mentioned it. I don't remember where, but maybe it was an interview or anything after the GG got disbanded, and he said this stuff. Yeah.
Quinn is very self-aware, I think, in general. Like, he's willing to acknowledge and take fault and accountability for things. So, you know, I think that's way more important than anything else. So, like, I have no doubt that over time, Quinn will improve on this because, you know, I was not... It's like at his age, he's probably technically ahead of where I was. You know what I mean? I don't really love comparisons, but I didn't know this shit properly when I was his age either. I was around his age. I think he's like 27-ish, 28. That was like right around the age that I was aware of what I was doing, but I didn't know how to do anything about it yet. So, I wouldn't be surprised if he's on like the same timeline kind of thing. Like, I have optimism for the way that Quinn will develop as a person over time. And so I do think he's very well spoken. I do believe he's willing to admit faults and is capable of having deeper than surface level conversations, which I think are all like necessities for being able to grow as a person. And that's why, like, I'm highlighting not for your sake, but for people watching, that I'm trying to talk about a specific behavior, not about a specific person. Quinn overall, I have very high views of Quinn overall. I'm also trying to be honest that on stream, it's like watching him compliment the players feels really weird. like it doesn't feel right to me that he's like here praising all the players. Like, it's not that I want him to sit there flaming players or anything, but yeah, something about it just feels really weird. So, but I do have very high view of Quinn overall, and I think everything you're saying is absolutely true. I mean, I've had like really nice, I've probably had like 4 or 5 like really nice personal conversations with Quinn over the years. And there are not very many Dota players I can say that about, so it's not like that's a for me that's high praise for somebody. To say that I've had a really nice conversation with him.
Imagine he got Deso too. He did not get Audacious though.
And here comes that
so they are lagging a lot on the game.
And he's gonna take the illusion run.
Yeah, this is I guess they're just forced to play it or something, or like this looks like trash.
Like they tried to reconnect 3 times and it didn't fix it.
No, that's huge. Maybe it's even better than Deso too.
Are these games being played on Europe West? I think they should move them to Europe East, because my Europe West games have been kind of sus for the last like 2 weeks.
I mean, these Forge Spears as well coming in with the push. The Tear Falls falling. Satani's getting caught by the bash. The Hex, he can't get
under.
Has to buy back. Etoro will have to jump away for now, but the Ancient's exposed. Spirit looking to close this up. Parivision, they push them off somehow. Sonic Wave comes in. And Satanic here with the 2nd round of his life off the back of the buyback, desperately trying to hold Spirit back. They've killed Etoro off once. That's the Aegis gone. Round 2 for him. The The BKB for no one. After BKB comes to an end, he's getting caught by the shackle. Yatora's in with a burst, blows up Ducalis. Ducalis still has his
Many
buyback
people
available.
become different in
Hex
different
down on the TN,
contexts.
Hex now, onto
So I
Satanic.
think,
Satanic stepping
I mean, I've actually learned a lot about this
back,
recently from Brene Brown. I'll talk about it at the end of the game. That was a sick cataclysm.
Cleans up the big kills with that one,
Okay.
as that's gonna be the turn of
Okay,
the
I've got a
Temple
question
Easy
for
as
you,
well.
Erfan.
Will close up the first game.
So I've got an answer to this question, but I don't want to act like it's like the right answer. I'm asking you to see what your answer is before I say what my answer is. So this person said many people become different based on their context. What trait do you think makes people not do that?
Like not acting differently?
Yeah, like they would act consistent across all scenarios to some degree. Not consistent in terms of they'll always be a certain way, but they will be the same person in every situation.
I think self-security and maturity.
Self-security and maturity. That makes sense. My word for it is authenticity. People who are authentic would be the same in every scenario. I do believe what you're saying, self-security and maturity, are absolutely factors in my definition.
Yeah.
So I don't disagree with you. Confidence is there too. That's similar to self-security. So like, I guess going off of your definition, because I agree, would be like lack of maturity and lack of, like, so basically lack of maturity. So immaturity and insecurity will make you act differently around different people, for sure.
True.
So that's, I completely agree with those things. The thing for me that I love doing the last like few years is I feel like I don't truly understand a subject until I'm able to give one word for it, or maybe like two words. So like for me, it's like the one word for it is authenticity. But I think there are probably 5 to 10 things, give or take, that make up the word authenticity as I would describe it. So immaturity and insecurity is definitely 2 of them. Yeah, because I think I have only learned how to be authentic in the last like 3 months. Prior to that, I did not think much about the word authenticity. I'd heard it before, but I never really knew anything about it or understood it. And so I also don't think, I would say, so according to Brene Brown, who I think is amazing, what does she think the opposite of authenticity is? I'm curious what you think she would say like, I know you don't know her maybe, but like, what is the opposite of authenticity? Or the antithesis of authenticity?
It's hard for me. Like, I can't explain it, but
it's a hard question.
I would just leave it to you.
It's a hard question.
It's
like, I wouldn't have been able to come up with an answer either. I was curious if you had something that came to mind. She said the antithesis to authenticity is fitting in. And I think I think it's like a really powerful thing to kind of mull over for a sec.
Yeah. Like simplifying these kind of explanations with some words are the things that the only experts can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's how I know when I'm listening to somebody if they're able to, if they're a subject matter expert on this type of stuff, like psychological stuff, because they're able to give a word with an extensive, but they have to give an extensive definition of the word.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like her definitions of words are like really long. I like her mentality that I've adapted myself, which is to, for every word that we often feel is like a buzzword or overused, like empathy, for instance, or like authenticity, stuff like these words, she said she doesn't think there's a definition out there that resonates with her for what this word really means, so she made her own. And I love that, because at the end of the day, the meaning of a word is what we make it, right? It just so I love that mentality, and so what I love about the books of hers that I've read is that with every word like this, she makes it very clear that she's giving her definition of the word, not like the Webster dictionary definition of the word. And so I'm trying to do that. I think that's to some degree what we're trying to do with like our series that we're making together is like we're trying to establish like mutual or like we're trying to understand or trying to establish definitions of like concepts and words in Dota, right?
Like simplifying.
But so if people don't watch the video and we use that word, they wouldn't understand it. Like they wouldn't understand what we mean by that word. And I think that's the best way to teach is to spend ample amount of time aligning what you believe the definition of a single word is, such that in the future, when you give that single word, everybody who like has worked with you understands what you mean with that single word. And I think oftentimes as humans, we assume that other people have the same definition of words that we're using. And what's really interesting is that my girlfriend and we've been together for about 2 years, and we had, I don't even know if you call it an argument, because we have like intense discussions, but we don't really have like arguments, because I feel like for arguments you're like against each other. But it was a heavy discussion about the definition of, and we realized it was about the definition of the word comfort, like what it means to be comfortable, and like what is the role of comfort in our lives. And there was a misunderstanding between us that we had to dig deep and figure out that the reason we were misunderstanding each other is because we had different definitions of the word comfort, but we were both using the word in the conversation. And it was leading to a huge misunderstanding. And I think it's so fascinating how often that happens. Just in general, I think in Dota it happens a shit ton, where people will say something to you and then think you're like stupid for not understanding what they said. But then you just used a word that I have a different definition of, so I listened to you. But the word means something different to me than it means to you, so I did something different than what you intended me to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, having the same definition for one word is something that should be created over time. And
true.
I think one of the things that I like being a coach and also create content is that it makes it easier for me to connect with my students like easier, because I see some of the problems that they have and I can address them to some of my videos, so they will understand exactly what I was trying to tell them, and they will understand those definitions. And whoever works with me for a long time, like they will understand the words, the concepts that I'm trying to do. So yeah, it's like, yeah, I totally understand what you're saying, and I think it just makes better over time. The definition of the words goes better over time.
True. I wanted to actually respond to something somebody said in chat about this whole conversation, which is, if you are actively trying to be authentic, are you really authentic? What do you think about that?
It's complicated.
Let's
I need to think about it.
My question that I would ask for Chad, and you can answer it too if you'd like, is it easier to be authentic or is it easier to fit in?
I think for being authentic, you should not try to be authentic. It's like you are authentic or you are not. You cannot try to be authentic, I guess. You can be authentic with fixing your insecurities and improving towards maturity.
It's interesting because I have like a. So for me, it's to be clear, I am operating under the definition that for me, the antithesis of authenticity is fitting in. I personally think it's way easier to fit in than it is to be authentic. I think that being authentic requires you to have an insane amount of self-awareness that
True.
allows you to navigate all the stuff that you just mentioned, your own insecurities, your own blind spots, your own emotions, stuff like this. So by my definition, I think being authentic is insanely difficult. And thus, I don't think there's another way to be authentic than to try really hard to be authentic. By my definition. I don't think, for me, I can see the reasoning people are giving in chat where there's like people who are just like authentically themselves, where they're just fucking assholes, basically, is what people are saying.
True.
I don't put that in the same category because you can be authentic while also caring about other people. Like, I don't have to change who I am around you if you don't like me, but I also can be respectful of you. And maybe that's like a different subject, but I'm not talking about people who are authentically assholes. Like, for me, it's not hard to just completely give no shits about anyone around you. Like, that's not
Like,
hard to do.
I think the thing that we need to talk about is that is it good to be authentic or is it bad? And I think being authentic is not something that you can refer as a good thing or refer as a bad thing. It's just a personality that includes the bad things and the good things about you. So I think this is like a different subject. If you try to say that being authentic is good, because in that case you will see some of the bad behaviors from those guys, and they will say, "I'm authentic. Like I'm not acting like anything. This is me. Like I'm an asshole, and I'm not hiding it." Yeah, I think you
mean,
cannot refer.
I mean, at the end of
Sorry.
the... Sorry, I interrupted you. Continue.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, one of the interesting parts about having this discussion, and I honestly should stop looking at chat for now, is because people... Like, I'm giving my definition of authenticity versus fitting in, but I also read, like, an entire book about this. And it's not like I'm saying I'm an expert or whatever, but, like, I'm giving a 2-sentence summary of, like, an entire book that talks about this. So, inevitably, people who are not really trying to understand my perspective, but more so wanting to share theirs, which is common, and that's fine. It's nothing wrong with that. They're gonna like disagree with me, and it's gonna like kind of derail the conversation. For me, fitting in means that I'm doing something that's not truly what I believe in order for you to like me more, or for you to accept me. It's not a matter of being empathetic and caring about people around you. It's doing things that are not in line with your values, with the way that you want to live your life, and you're subconsciously or consciously acting against that in order to fit in, basically, in order to be a part of the pack. And for me, fitting in is strictly a bad thing. Like, it is a bad thing because belonging is very different than fitting in. Like, belonging is my version, my like healthy version of fitting in, finding a place where you can be yourself and people accept you. And also striving to be a person that accepts others as they are. I mean, this is like a really complicated topic. I guess, yeah, I'm obviously not trying to be purely polarized. I understand the benefits of fitting in, and there are times where you have to fit in because there's like some sort of power dynamic where the other person has control over you, whether it's like a boss or a government or whatever, or school. And if you don't fit in, then you get like ousted, and that can hurt you directly. So like there's times where you kind of like have to fit in. But I think there's like a lot of times that we choose to fit in over being ourselves, where we don't have to, other than just being social creatures, and it hurts us in the long run. Like, we had that conversation yesterday about like long-term comfort over short-term comfort, and I feel like fitting in is short-term comfort and being authentic is long-term comfort. Because by being authentic over fitting in, you will eventually find the people for you. Like, you'll eventually find a group of people that you belong in. But if you fit in all the time, you can easily go your entire life without finding a place where you actually belong. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, what you're saying, in my opinion, that's an insecurity. Like, when you are not confident enough, when you do not understand your values, you'll try to fit in, and you'll try to do the things that are good for others to see from you instead of yourself. So for me, it's an insecurity to do the things that you don't like, but because you want people to like you, to rely on you, you will do those stuff. That's an insecurity, and I don't think insecurities are good. So that's a behavior that you can work on to get better. I'm not saying that you are like this. I'm talking about the concept. So fitting in for me is different. It's a skill to adjust, and also you need to be authentic and be able to adjust. Like, there is a thin line between them to find the balance. You cannot say this is me, you need to adopt with me, and you cannot say okay, whatever you say, I will do. You need to find a balance. Like, these are the things that are for my values, like these are the things that I like on the red line for me. I will not do this. Either you like me or don't like me. But I also understand that I have to do some of this stuff because of the work that I'm choosing. So you need to be able to adjust as a mature guy. But if you have insecurities, it will hurt you and it's difficult. So I would say that fitting in everything, like just not watching your or staying by your principles, just say, okay, whatever you say is right. I think with fitting in, you are meaning like that. And I think that's an insecurity. That's not good. That's bad. And I also know that there is some stuff that you can do when you are authentic. So I don't think that these two things can go against each other. They are part of each other, which have the bad parts and the good parts.
If you separate the word insecurities from fitting in, then I can see how you would. I see what I see. I'm having a hard time articulating back to you, but I believe I see what you're saying. That the negative parts of fitting in that I'm talking about, you attribute that to insecurity. So you detach the negative parts from fitting in and just label them as insecurities. So then fitting in itself is not directly in conflict with authenticity, is what you're saying, I think.
Yeah, cause I think fitting in has a part that is called adjustable, and adjusting yourself for me is a skill. And if you can adjust and also stay by your principle, it's like you are fitting in and you are staying authentic at the same time. And I think it's a good thing. So
Yeah,
that's why I'm saying
so
these two things are not going against each other.
I see what you're saying. It's making me realize, I mean, somebody in chat even said it, like, I need to further elaborate on my definition of authenticity. So I personally think there's a big difference between the cause of something and the effect of it. So like for me, fitting in is the effect while the cause is insecurity, rather than having it be parts of fitting in is insecurity. Like for me, that's how I see it. For me, being authentic, as you've already kind of mentioned, and I tried to mention earlier, is for instance, for me, my value, one of my core values, because part of the exercise of the book was to choose two. One of my core values is teamwork and like being a good teammate. Basically, one of my core values is I always want to be someone that people like to work with. That's like really important to me. And so there are times where I could effectively try to fit in by working somewhere where I'm not able to give direct feedback to people around me about things I like and don't like that they're doing. And in order to fit in, I kind of keep my mouth shut. But I personally believe that I can't be a good teammate if I'm not able to hold the people around me accountable and vice versa. So like that would be an example of keeping quiet in order to fit in against my values, if that makes sense. That would be like against my values. And there's times where you need to do that because you need to keep your job or whatever. But
That's true.
That's why for me, I'm not able to be my authentic self and fit in at the same time. For me, the positive form of fitting in is belonging. Like for me, these are two sides of the same coin. Belonging and fitting in. I feel like I belong with the dojo team, with you, Jacob, and Luke, and the mods as well, because I am allowed to say shit that I'm not sure how it sounds, and I'm allowed to make mistakes, and I'm allowed to suggest ideas, and people will call me out if something I said was inappropriate or something, and they can also call me out that that's just not a good idea, or like that's not going to work, and here's why. And they don't say it in a way of like you're stupid. They say it in a way of like, I've had experience with this. Generally, when that happens, this happens. What whatever. So like they will willingly question my ideas, and for me, that's like absolutely essential to like. I don't want to work with somebody who's not going to question my ideas. That in the long run will be like a really dangerous, slippery slope of me being surrounded by like yes men, and I will be worse off because the people are not questioning my ideas. So like, I guess what I'm trying to say is my authenticity is living according to your values no matter what, basically. And there's a lot of reasons that I think you can live outside of your values. That's like, in and of itself, another 2-hour conversation. One of which is insecurities, in my opinion. One of which is fitting in. But I see the value in I 100% believe making people like you is a skill. And it's also a skill that I wish to bump down on my priority list by like 10. Because I think we talked about this. I don't know if we did. So whenever I have a system, the way that I've learned to predict how useful the system is for me to ask myself, what am I optimizing for with this system? And if I were to hypothesize optimizing for this over 5 years, like what would my life look like? So like, if I'm optimizing for people to like me, if I think about what my life will look like in 5 years, it's not good from my experience. And that's how I lived my entire life. Like that's basically anxious attachment, is to optimize for people to like you. Like all of your decisions are optimized for people to like you. As a streamer, incredibly dangerous. A lot of streamers have it. I've had it historically. And so I personally have optimized for people to like me the majority of my life, and I've only recently seen how detrimental that is to me and my ability to honestly enjoy life and be authentic, honestly. So I guess my final thought is that I see the value in trying to get people to like you. I think it's a skill, and it's a skill I don't wish to prioritize. There's things that I would put above it, but as long as those priorities are satisfied, I will try to make you like me, of course, as long as I'm living in with my values, being authentic, stating my opinions openly. I will then make you try to like me, for sure. Like I'll be polite to you. It's not that I'm going to be impolite to you outside of those things. That's the big difference, though, is just because I don't think you live by my values and I don't like you doesn't mean I have to be an asshole to you. Like there's like a big separation here. Like I can treat you with respect just because we're different. And that's kind of what we're going through with the dojo right now. Is I just like, I said I kind of decided, you were there, I decided to kick a few members of the community. And a lot of what they were doing was not explicitly toxic. And that's something I've never known what to do about, because what do you say to somebody who's in a Twitch chat or in a Discord server who's not being explicitly toxic, but you also don't want them there? Like, what do you say to that? What do you do about that? And I've found the only response in my head that makes sense is to have values and ask myself, is this person living in according with my values? And it's okay if they're not. They don't have to value what I value, but if they're going to be in my community, if they're going to be in my Twitch chat, then they do. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, if something is bothering you, but he's not like naturally bad guy, so the approach that you have to understand the values, and if the guy is on the values or not, I think that approach is a good approach, according to that. But the thing that you were saying about making people to like me, getting people to like me, it depends on the theory behind it. Like, there's sometimes that you want people to like you so you can get the job, so you can live better, so you can go higher on the career. And there is sometimes that you want people to like you only because you want you feel happier when they like you. Because I can see that we can work at some places that people, they do not like us at all, but because we are valuable in there for the work, we will be in there. And I can see the opposite side also, that you are not valuable with the work, but because the people like you.
True.
Yeah. So I think it goes for the policy that you are choosing that behavior. Like, what's the reason that you want to fit in? You are fitting in because of some policy, because of some goal, because you want that job, or it's because of some insecurity or lack of something inside you. It's like, I want people to like, so I will behave like this. And that's an insecurity, in my opinion. For me, that's an insecurity, to do the stuff to only get people to like you because it makes you feel happy this way. Like, this is the original you, but that this is a weakness. This is an insecurity. You need to do something about it, because those kind of approaches, according to that cause, according to that decision, according to that problem, it will not have a good result for you.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
No one DKs, some classics, but Spirit, they've done some cool responses. And they might even get a first blood.
That's quite a lot of damage. They get some body blocks here. Yeah, they're gonna have him, and it's gonna go the way of no one on the Dragon Knight.
Yeah, man, I always enjoy these conversations with you.
Didn't get the hoof stomp off.
Me too.
A little too far away, just straight up misses it. And now first blood for DK, a lane that was already hard for Laurel, gonna be even harder.
We are from two whole different cultures, and wars can go this deep. I like them too.
I remember I've talked about this randomly a bunch of times in my life, but when I was on my way to EWC the first year that I went, which was I guess 3 years ago at this point. I mean, it was like 2.5 years ago. I was in a stage of my life where I was redefining what it meant to have like a meaningful conversation with somebody. And I remember I was raised, this isn't how I think myself, like you realize around my age, at least, a lot of people do, mid to late 20s, early 30s, you start distinguishing between things you truly believe and things that were like spoon-fed to you, like culturally. So I was spoon-fed by culture that, and maybe my upbringing, that the people who you can have good conversations with are people who have similar life experiences to you. Like, that was what I was raised with. People who have things in common with you. And so at the time in my life, like 2.5 years ago, I had been challenging this notion for like the last few months. And I go on this flight to EWC. And at the time, I was reading a book. What book was it? What fucking book was it? I don't remember what book it was. I'll remember at some point. But so I was reading Daily Stoic was what I was reading. And so the woman next to me, it's just like a book that has a bunch of like daily, like it has a single quote about stoicism, but then goes in depth about like applying it to modern day life and stuff. The woman next to me asked me a question about the book, asked me if she could read a bit of it just to see it.
And I said, sure, you know, here you go. And so this woman was a Saudi woman that I proceeded to have a random 5-hour-long conversation with for the rest of the flight. And it was like, it was amazing. We were literally talking about like childhood fucking trauma shit, dude. And it was just 5 hours with this random woman who has literally zero. Like, if you think about like the surface level of like what do I have in common, experience-wise, with like life experience with a Saudi Arabian woman? Like, we come from about polar fucking opposite backgrounds, right? But that was one of the first most impactful times in my life where I really truly understood. I didn't just know, but I understood that humans are just human, and we all have human experiences. And yeah, it was just such a powerful conversation, and I'll never forget that conversation. I haven't talked to her since. But it was just such a meaningful conversation to me. And I learned about she had a word for this that she literally made up during the conversation that still sticks with me, which is mirroring. She used the word mirroring, which is we show the person we think they want to see. We mirror to them who they want to see. And the skill I developed as a kid was to mirror. And a lot of time, I mean, I don't want to go into too personal stuff right now, but something I'd discuss more willingly with you off stream. There's a lot of reasons why kids learn to mirror, and most of them are not good.
Yeah.
But I understood how her and I both were expert mirrors, I guess you could say. And I just saw, ever since then, I kind of went on this journey of like, how big of a detriment does this have on my life? That I like mirror what people want to see. And how often do I do it? So I think I have a particularly like negative bias towards fitting in with my life, because I know how to fit in. And I don't do it in a way that's like healthy. Like I don't do it like most of my reasons I do it are for the insecurities that you're talking about, and like the unpleasant nature of somebody disliking you. So I've probably it sounds like you have more nuance to the way that you are thinking about the way you're thinking about comparing insecurities to fitting in. So that's something for me to think about, I guess. Because whenever we are affected personally by something more, we're less likely to view it in nuance. So I can tell your view is more nuanced, and I'll have to reevaluate it the way I see it on my own time. So thank you for that.
I mean, I'm just saying some random stuff.
No, that's what sharing perspective is all about, man.
No. I'm glad that I could help. Like the thing that you were saying with the Saudi woman, I totally believe in this, because most of the things that I say are the things that I live. So I'm trying to fix those stuff, or I was trying to fix those stuff on myself. So when I see it somewhere else, I can understand it. Like I can see that this guy is same as me, or like I had this behavior, so I understand what you're saying. And this thing is something that helps me a lot in coaching, because let me put it this way: like Dota 2, people are always arguing for the hidden pool, right? And they see that Yatoro or Ramses, they say that there is no hidden pool. Hidden pool doesn't exist. And when those big guys are saying this, the people who are around like Legend, Archon, or anything, they are scared to talk about this stuff with someone else, because they will answer immediately. Yatoro said no, it doesn't exist, so it doesn't exist. But the guy feels it, that sometimes his pop matches are weird and it has nothing to do with it. And when some guy comes to me and he says, Erfan, I think my pops are not normal, and I use the phrase that like you think you are on a hidden pool, the guy immediately is happy and he says, yes, I think hidden pool exists and I feel it in my pop games, but Yotor said it doesn't, like Ramses said it doesn't, so I'm scared to talk about it. Maybe I'm bad or all this stuff. You know, because I felt it in my pop match. It happens sometimes that in your pop match, it doesn't matter what you do. Sometimes you're gonna win anyway. Sometimes you're gonna lose anyway. And there is a phase in that you will win one game, you will lose one game. You will win one game, you will lose one game. And I'm in this game for 12 years, and it keeps repeating on me, on my students, on anyone who plays like 7 games like daily. It happens. So when because I felt it, I was just trying to give this as an example. When I felt it, I can talk more about it. So for the stuff that I was saying, those insecurities, those subjects, those titles, those things are the things that I felt, I live, and maybe I change also. So the thing that you said about humans are humans, no matter where they live, they can be the same. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, the hidden pool is quite an interesting discussion as an example, because I think that there's a... So for anyone out there, I think the most incredible... Okay, there's a lot of context required here. So I watch Dr. K like all the time. I've told you this. I think he's like I think he understands gamers better than anyone. There was a really I'm kind of going on a tangent, but I'm gonna work it back to what I believe you were just talking about. There was a broadcast of him talking to Pirate Software like 9 months ago or something. And Pirate Software is a streamer who is going through like some insane drama through a WoW raid. About how he like fudged it and everyone said he took no responsibility, but then he was saying he took responsibility, and it was a whole ordeal. And at one point in the talk, I'm going to be like paraphrasing and maybe not quoting directly, so this is my interpretation of what was said. Pirate Software, basically, they had a discussion about the truth of the scenario, and Dr. K was trying to show him that what matters more than truth is people's perspective. Because if you understand the truth, it can be incredibly invalidating to anyone if you don't understand their perspective and you show no demonstration of understanding their perspective. So what Dr. K was trying to show him is that at no point is he acknowledging the perspective of anybody watching him and giving it any sort of merit, because in his mind, it is objectively true that he said, I fucked up. But if I say, yeah, or if I'm on your team and I say, yeah, man, I fucked up, but like this, that, this, and that, are you going to think I acknowledged my problem? Or, like, if I proceed to talk about all the reasons that I fucked up and all the excuses I have, if I talk about those for an hour, but I mentioned for 5 seconds that I fucked up, do you feel like I acknowledged that I fucked up? And it's like, no, nobody feels like you acknowledged you fucked up. So, what was really interesting about that discussion was that was my first time from Dr. K hearing about this idea of people's perception is way more important than the truth itself if you're trying to work with them. If you're trying to have like a cordial relationship with somebody, whether it's a business partnership, a romantic partnership, whether they're like members of your community, it matters that there's a mutual understanding of the situation rather than arguing about the truth. So a lot of times the perception has to do with people's motives, their intentions, how they perceived your action. I can say something, I can be like, that was a great play, dude. And you can perceive me as being a passive-aggressive fuck, right? Objectively, I said that was a great play, dude. And if you say, stop being passive-aggressive, and I say, what do you mean? I said that was a great play. Like, if I argue about the objective truth of the scenario, is that going to bring us closer? Or is it more important for me to ask you, hey man, you know, I was genuinely trying to compliment your play. Why did it, what about it felt passive-aggressive to you? Do you know what I mean? Like, rather than...
Yeah.
So instead of arguing the truth of what I said, I ask you, like, what about that was passive-aggressive? I genuinely want to understand so that we can communicate better. So the reason I'm saying this is because the objective truth, in my opinion, is that there is... That sounds weird, but, like, I don't think... There is no proof that the shadow pool exists. I'll say that much. There's no proof.
Mhm.
But for me to say to somebody who believes in the shadow pool, dude, it doesn't exist, like, chill the fuck out, that's incredibly invalidating. Because their perspective, their perception of the situation is that of what you just said. There's pubs they can't win, there's pubs they can't lose. There's sometimes they win 5 pubs in a row, and then they get 5 pubs in a row that they can't fucking win. And it makes sense, based on that experience, that a shadow pool would explain that. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what they're experiencing, and a shadow pool would explain that. So, if I were to just say to them, like, no, there doesn't exist, the relevance of the shadow pool is not the discussion that needs to be had. The discussion needs to be had about how does it feel when you can't control your wins and losses? How do you handle it when you can't control your wins and losses? You know, how does it feel to have so much of your life be out of your control? How does it feel to be 1 out of 10 players in a scenario and have a rank that is based on your win, like a solo MMR that is based on winning and losing, when you're 1/10 of the piece, right? So how does that feel? Like, talk about it. The perception, like like, what does powerlessness make you do? How do you react to it? How do you cope with it? But instead, people talk about, yeah, there's a shadow pool or not. Like, at the end of the day, it really doesn't fucking matter if there's a shadow pool. Do you know what I mean?
True.
Who fucking cares? But, like, if I'm engaging you about that, we're just gonna argue, right? Like, we're not on the same page. I'm not displaying any give-a-shits about you. I'm just like, can this guy stop being fucking delusional? Right? Like, that's what I'm thinking. And then you're thinking, can this guy, like, you're thinking I don't give a shit about you. Which then is true based on what I'm saying. But maybe I don't mean that. Maybe I'm trying to help you. So, it's just all miscommunication at the end of the day. It's like all of it's miscommunication. And I think what you're doing as a coach, which is to acknowledge, are you saying you think there's a shadow pool? That's you expressing empathy, basically. You're not agreeing with him that there's a shadow pool, but you understand not only that he believes there's a shadow pool, but you also understand why he believes there's one, which is effectively perspective taking, which we've talked about a lot. So, and I think that most of the world could use a crash course in in perspective taking. Most people don't use it. And I just remember, I feel like my first experience with this was that Pirate Software talk. Yeah, it's something I mean, I want to instill in our Dota community. I don't really know how I'll do it over time, and I know you'll help me with it, but... if somebody's having a problem, the most important thing is understanding why it's a problem for them, not telling them how to fix it. And that's what makes, I think, both of us really good coaches, is that we understand this. And it, honestly, nothing bothers me more in our community. And reminder, I believe everyone's acting out of good intent, so I think we have good people in the community. But nothing bothers me more than when somebody expresses a struggle and everyone tells them all the shit they're supposed to do to fix it. Like, that's like, they're just getting swarmed with all the things they're supposed to do to fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that bothers me a lot. And I don't kick people for doing that because I haven't figured out a way to explain that or instill that. And I don't think the people doing that are, like I said, toxic or bad people. But in the long run, I don't want to say dream, maybe that's a strong word, but like I aim for a community that does that. where I look at the messages and people are trying to help the person understand why they're doing what they're doing rather than trying to tell them what they're doing wrong. That's what I would hope, but we'll see.
Yeah. Like, having a community like that, it's a big thing. Like, achieving that for ourselves as a person is also hard. So having a community like that, yeah,
even harder.
would be even harder. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, I think that type of value can't be instilled except for like years. Like that's gonna take a while. Oh, the snipe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna take a while to instill that sort of thing. That's like super long term for sure. I mean, what I think a lot of people don't understand is that once you've taken somebody's perspective and you understand why they're doing what they're doing, and they understand that you understand that, any practical advice you give, they are 10 times more likely to listen to you. 10 times. It's not even fucking close. I think the problem that people have is that they think you either empathize or help them. Like, these are conflicting ideas. But that's not how it works. Once they are empathized with and they understand that you understand them, then they will trust your advice. Because they think you know why they're doing it, so then they will be receptive to what you're telling them. So what people don't get is they're like, I gave this guy great advice, and he didn't listen. And it's like 80% of the time, it's because they didn't think you actually understood them. So even if you had the right answer, they're not going to listen anyway. I just think it's really interesting that, you know, people in chat were kind of discussing that too. I think there's this huge misconception that it's either or.
I mean, the thing that you just said applies to my life with the doctors. Like, I have a problem that I don't understand what it is, but I do understand how do I feel.
Yeah.
So I go to a doctor, he checks on me for 30 seconds, 1 minute, and he's like, okay, this is the problem, we're gonna fix it this way. I'm not gonna trust that guy. But I see one other guy, yeah, maybe he even spends less time with me, maybe only 10 seconds, but when I understand the guy understands what I feel, I'm like, okay, he knows what he's talking about. So let me think, let me do the thing that he said.
Yes, absolutely. That's a good example.
No.
When people come off like they think they know better than you don't want to listen to them ever. Even if they do know better. Even if you know they know better, and you originally came to them for advice. But if they come off as they know something you don't, you're just not going to listen to them. Like, a doctor, like, in the case of, like, a doctor, what I've seen about Dr. K that I think is so fucking powerful is that I guarantee in 99% of his sessions, within the first 15 seconds, he knows what is wrong with the person. But it takes him, like, 2 hours to get there. Like, it's not good enough for him to say you're bipolar. He needs this person to reach an understanding of what they have and what it's doing to them. You know what I'm saying? And like, so if he just gives them the answer, it's not going to do anything. And I think that like, it's so hard to do it, and that's why nobody does it. It's so hard. It takes so much more time to understand why the person's doing it than it does to know what they're doing wrong. It takes so much more time.
Yeah. Takes much more time, more attention, more energy.
Yep, more time. Yep.
Like about being a performance coach, this is something that helps me a lot to make people to pay attention to their food, to their sleeping schedule, and to their exercises. You cannot tell gamers to sleep well. You cannot tell them to do not stay awake on the nights. You cannot tell them that you need to eat proper food or exercise. Because the guy chooses to be a gamer to maybe bail out on this on those responsibilities. Not all the gamers, but most of the gamers. They do not like to be on social events. They do not like to exercise or do some hard stuff. They do not want to think about what they should eat and the time of their sleep. So if you are going to tell them you need to sleep well, they will say, okay, fuck off, see you next time, bye bye. They will go. But when you talk with them and when I tell them that, do you feel sometimes you're shaking on the game? Did you ever use the phrase that this is not my day? Or some days, do you think that your eyes are watching like with better vision? Or you see it? Do you feel that the game is slow for you? Even though the fights are so heavy, still you are thinking calmly and you think everything is slow for you. And the guy thinks with himself and he says, yes, sometimes I feel I'm more calm, sometimes I'm shaking, sometimes blah, sometimes blah. After they admit and they understand that I do understand their feelings in the game, they pay attention to the things that I say. And now this is the moment that I can say that shaking stuff that happens to you can be because of lack of water, because of lack of protein, because of lack of vitamins, and blah 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 blah. And that instability for your performance, which sometimes you say, this is not my day, or holy shit, this day I'm blowing everything. It comes from your routine. If you are going to be an athlete or you want to be on the pro scene, you cannot be good sometimes and bad sometimes because you are not reliable. If you want to be in pro scene and you have a long-term career, you need to be stable. And if you want to be stable, you cannot have bad days or good days. You can have like normal performance every game, which is reliable. So to have a normal performance, you need to have a routine which is healthy to your nature, and with that stability, you will find yourself in a place that you are not unstable anymore, you are not shaking, and you are not going to use the phrase, okay, this is not my day. Or even if you use it, you know why. Maybe because you drink so much last night, maybe you didn't sleep well, maybe you eat something with so much sugar or fat. You will understand it. Yeah, this kind of understanding stuff helps me a lot in my coaching sessions as a performance coach and as a Dota 2 coach. When you understand this, because it happens to me, like it was happening to me before, some days I couldn't see like the other days. Like some days I could see, like the fight was a mess, everything was going in a chaos, but I could understand what is happening. I was calm. I could make good decisions. I didn't forget my my job on the team fight. But sometimes on the laning phase, I was so stressed that I wanted to just keep aggroing the creeps. I couldn't think, and I couldn't last hit the creeps. Like, it's so simple to just last hit a creep, which is not being attacked by any other hero. Yeah, so all this stuff, when you realize them and you explain it to the students, you can also get them to drink less energy drinks, to sleep better, and understand the vitamin and cardio and stuff. Sharing these feelings with them and helping them or making them to understand that you understand their feelings totally will make them 10 times more likable to listen.
Yeah. I mean, going off what you just said, because I mean, I can't agree more with everything you just said. Somebody did give 500 bits 25 minutes ago, saying Erfan is really putting in effort to help the Iranian Dota community grow. Shout out to him, and thanks to BSJ for having him. I mean, I don't say it lightly, guys, that in the midst of looking over time, like I've talked to a lot of people over the last like year or two, generally looking for. I knew inevitably part of my life was going to be collabing, and not just collabing in the sense of like let's make content together, but actually working with more of a team. That's something I realized like 4 or 5 years ago, and my first step was to like understand how I can be a better teammate. That was like the first 2 steps, the first 2 years I mean. And the next step, the last like few years, has really been looking for people to work with. And so the person that helped me formulate the Dota Dojo was the first person in all of that time, this was like 2 years later, that I was like, I actually want to work with this person. And then when, after that, I was tentatively looking for coaches, kind of reaching out to people, but it was actually Erfan that reached out to me. And yeah, Erfan, I was like, okay, I'm working with this person. Like, I think we both agreed, like, first conversation, like, yeah, let's work together. Like, it was just literally one conversation. I very much value what he has to say and what his perspective and his approach to things, so... I don't take it lightly that I'm, like, who I work with is probably my most select filter, and stuff like what you just said is something that I think very few people understand. I think you probably even understand that a lot of that stuff better than I do, actually. And that sounds like really egotistical for me to sound like I'm surprised by that, but I am surprised by that, not because of you, but because I had to learn this stuff outside of Dota because I felt like nobody in Dota understood it. Like, I kind of had an idea of what I needed to learn, but I didn't know what it was, and I looked inside Dota first, and I realized I needed to go outside of Dota. So then to have somebody in Dota that I'm like, oh, they actually get this shit, it was very surprising to me at the time. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I'm just giving respect where it's due, I guess, is what I'm saying. So thank you.
Yeah, it goes both ways also, because like as you said, I reached out to you, and I was looking for a man who I can work with like not only normal work, like having high values and having high goals, not to just take attention for bigger community, for maybe making content or make more money and stuff, like having values of life and putting like huge goals for their lives. So I couldn't think of anyone else other than you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, no, not always,
goes both ways.
probably, but I don't know what the cutoff point is. That's going to require quite a bit of testing. I don't have my laboratory on hand.
Somebody asked, I tend to be a bit memey and use Kappa messages because I enjoy humor, but do you find I sometimes negatively contribute to your community? Is that something you want everyone to pull back on? The last thing I want is for people to be afraid to act. That's the last thing I want. What I've acknowledged is that the quality of community I will get is predominantly decided by how well I understand what I'm looking for and how well I'm able to convey it to you guys. So I'm aware that there's a lot of... I'm not even talking about you here. There's a lot of things that people are doing that I don't like. That is like a problem for another time because they're not being directly toxic. A lot of it's like Dota norms that they don't know any better. And I'm here to just say that, like, yeah, the most important thing is that you guys feel comfortable, as long as you're not being like really trolly. Quaweds, I've seen a lot of your messages. I don't think I've ever looked at your messages and been annoyed or anything. I don't think I've ever thought that.
Yeah, so
there's
I just because I couldn't remember it was different when you have the shard ones. Exactly full forge spirit. It was nice, yeah, easy.
The part of the stage that we're in right now is that there are people who are doing things that I don't like, but there's another layer to it where they are directly getting in the way of the culture I'm trying to establish. There's like things that are not getting in the way that are not what I like either. And those type of things are perfectly fine. And I would say 98% of the community falls in that category, where if they're doing something that's not exactly what I'm going for, it's fine. But then there are some people, like, I think something, for instance, that goes directly against the culture of the dojo is that I have relatively high disdain for cynicism and bleak outlooks on the Dota future and stuff like this. Like people who really ram the idea of like dead game, who gives a fucking shit, fuck this shit. Like I hate that. Because it's like there's like one type of person where it's like this is how it is and I accept that. And then there's another person that says this is how it is and this is how it always will be and I fucking hate it. And those are the type of people I don't want in the community, because how am I supposed to change anything if that's how you feel? And that's the type of sentiment that you're spreading in the server. Like, how can I possibly make any changes if you express how much you hate the current scenario, how it's never going to change, and how there's no hope? Like, how do I make any changes? How do I inspire? How do I influence to help people want to make change when people are acting like that? So that's an example of something where I understand why you would have little hope. I understand that it comes from a place of caring and pain about the game, but I can't afford to have it around. I just can't. So there are people that I've had to recently kick as well because they have such negative outlooks on like the future of the game and stuff like this. Looks like a 2-0 from Spirit. I thought Pari was going to win this game.
Yeah, me too. I mean, they just miscommunicated on the jump on gyro because that toss spike was necessary so center couldn't save. But no one jumped in early, I think. They had to use the toss back. I don't think that DK should start.
I'm still playing Dota because I think it's the best game ever made, and I don't think this is a Dota-specific issue. If I go somewhere else, I'm just running away from the problem, and I'll run into it somewhere else. I don't think there's like an option to run away from like online gaming culture. And I'm a gamer, so.
Now up 11k gold, almost out of thin air it feels. And if this Roche fight goes in the way of Spirit, could strike disaster in the Parivision camp.
Oh, you're asking that question to... It's a dead game, who cares?
Even with these sort of team fight losses,
I see.
It almost feels like they have to just keep throwing themselves at Spirit in the hope that it somehow ends out a little bit different.
I think people really hold on to hope a lot. And deep down they wish it would change, while saying out loud that it won't, because they've kind of lost faith, but they still hold on to hope. I think it's actually a combination of hope with a lack of faith, I think. Like, they're conflicted because they hope it gets better, but they don't believe it will. That's how I would assess it myself.
Really talk about this fight carefully.
They're going to try for the jump. Look at the toss back on Yatora, but Yatora's able to put the BKB. Satanic's been on top of him, but again, collapse comes in with the card. He's able to bail.
I'm telling you, man, Invoker's broken, dude.
No.
These fights, like, I just...
Like,
what is his damage output like? What the fuck?
Yeah, it does a lot.
Get off one final Dragon Tail on towards Yatora, but Yatora doesn't mind. He can turn, help clean up the fight once again. Spirit losing nobody.
Like, about Dota 2 is being annoying or a dead game. I mean, most of the people who talks about this stuff and I hear about them, I see that they have some standards that they cannot be applied to any community. Like, I don't understand sometimes why people are getting mad at Valve or Dota 2, because yes, maybe there is some stuff that can be like more attention to, but the game has too many good stuff that no other game has, like the watching the stuff, like the communication stuff, like the servers, because you cannot find empty lobbies or those kind of stuff in any other game, in League of Legends, in CSGO, and you can go to your arcade games with the servers of the Dota 2 itself. You can go for, now lately you can go for demo hero as multiple, like different people, and these kind of stuff are very, very valuable. Like it's too hard to create a game like this with this kind of servers. Of course there will be problems, and the best thing that Valve can do is punishing Smurfs and account buyers or sellers, which I think lately they are doing some stuff about this, but it's huge. Like even in our countries, it doesn't matter how many policies do we have, how many rules do we have, how the cameras, the security stuffs are there, and how great they are. Till there is thieves and murders and I'm not sure if I can say it, but the rapists guys, those people. So I don't understand why people get mad at Valve. Like, they cannot satisfy everyone with a huge game like this, but they are doing better than the rest of the world.
I mean, I think it's really funny you say that, because I literally recorded a video on my own secondary channel. This was like 2 months ago, maybe 3. And if I'm summarizing the video in like one sentence, it was basically like, you guys have 2 options. You can choose to be grateful for how amazing this game is, or you can bitch at Valve for what they don't do. Like,
yeah,
choose. And in the video, I basically just said, I think the entire community would benefit from some gratitude. And the comments were so offended. Like, the majority of people were just like, how dare you, with all of these things that Valve doesn't do, how dare you tell me to be grateful? And what's really funny is, it's like them against Valve. We're telling you to be grateful for your own benefit. Like, living life with gratitude allows you to appreciate the amazing parts that are there. When anyone with gratitude will acknowledge there's shitty things about everything. Like, life has a lot of shit. Dota has a lot of shit. Like, everywhere you go, there's fucking shit. Right? But, like, if you lose your sight of gratitude and you only look at the shit, you will find shit wherever you go. It doesn't matter. Like, if I focus on the 1 thing or the 5 things or the 10 things that could be better, there is no question to the limit of how many good things I can just overlook. And for me, I'm like, I said in the video, no wonder Valve abandoned this game. I wouldn't want to listen to you guys either. like, why the fuck would they stick around? Like, if I'm them, I'm looking at the 1% improvements they've been making over the last, like, decade. Like, there have been countless quality of life changes, and they're still coming. Like, they released, like, the fucking test labs shit for, like, you know, hotkeys for, like, CS and stuff. They just now released the demo mode for friends. That's a huge quality of life improvement. That, like, I haven't even thought about the implications yet. I did think when I saw that, I'm like, that's a huge quality of life change. And after all of that, all people have to say is, where new hero? When? You know, it's like, sure, I absolutely would love if they were releasing new heroes 4 times a year. But, like, that's just not how it is. It's just not. And there's like so many good things they're doing.
Yeah.
And oh man, it's just,
I mean,
I've never felt more heard until you just said that, but go ahead.
Like the people who just try to focus on the negative stuff, I think they need to work on themselves. Because look, the game is free. It's like the patch that they are giving, like every month, every 2 months, makes this game not be ended. Like there is some patch in some games that you can understand every action and reaction, but in Dota 2, there is always new stuff, and mostly they are balanced. And whenever they see something is really, really unbalanced, they will immediately change. And the game is free. The servers are mostly good, like 95% of the time. Also, they are covering the pro scene very well, and they are covering the community scene very well. Like in CS, you cannot play casual games. You cannot. The rank doesn't matter a lot because there is cheaters in every game, but they cover the pro scene very well. In League of Legends, there is not a big pro scene for them, maybe 1 or 2 tournaments per year, but the pubs are very fun. Dota 2, the server of the pubs, the quality of the pubs, their matchmaking and the rankings are okay. I'm not saying it's perfect. It's hard to make it perfect. They are okay because they are also changing like Immortal Draft and all those stuff. They are doing their best. The pro scene is okay. There is 2 big tournaments every month, $1 million tournament, 2 of them every month. The production is okay. The servers are okay, and the game is free. Like, what do you want? Can you create something better? Just do, please. If you can make anything better, just do. Why are you stopping? And they are giving new sets, they are giving new solutions to problems. Because this demo hero, especially the time scale, was a problem for me. Not for me, because I know the console command. I can make the game faster, I can make the game slower by the commands, and they are making it like uh, family friendly or something like that. They're user friendly, and they're taking care of too many stuff, and they are trying to simplify the hotkeys and some stuff that can bring more new players. Because Dota 2 or Dota 1 back then, they were very complicated. Very, very complicated.
Yeah.
According to the range of your spells, according to the aggros and all those stuff. And also, they are like, there's too many things that they need to take care of, and they are taking care of, and people want more heroes. Like, just chill. I understand. Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, I understand one thing that is annoying, and like I see no solution to it, and that's avoiding players with Dota Plus, because it's something that you are paying for, and you want to avoid people, but you cannot apply that on the Immortal Draft after 8.5k MMR.
Yeah, I hate that.
And yeah, I cannot think of anything like how Valve can fix that. How? But they are fixing too many things. I don't know why people are just pointing on negative stuff.
My big pet peeve, and I've talked about this in the community a lot. I don't know if I've ever explicitly mentioned it to you because I don't think this came up in any of our conversations. Is I've tried to be really consistent about this messaging, and perhaps I'm not the best at showing empathy first and then employing this. But like if I'm skipping the empathy part for a second, this is me venting. So this is like skipping empathy for others. Can we just shut the fuck up about Valve and talk about what we as a community can do to make this a better place? Can we just shut the fuck up about Valve for like 5 years? We know what they're going to give the game. They've been very consistent for the last like 3 years. Virtually no communication.
Like, everything's on cruise control. They're giving us small quality of life things. They're giving us 2 big patches a year. They're giving us, like, letter patches here and there, sets here and there, occasional collaborations and events and stuff. It's been pretty damn consistent, really. Like, and can we just shut the fuck up for a second and stop saying, "Wah, Valve, help us make this better"? And can we just talk about how many negative contributions we have within the culture of Dota 2? Like, within the way that people act towards each other and the way we communicate and, like, online gaming as a whole. And so, for me, what bothers me about it is not as much the fact that people are lacking gratitude, but I feel like the more you complain about Valve, the closer to 100% certainty I would loathe playing with you. Like, it's probably directly correlated. Like, people who just talk about all the things that other people should fix for them are the same people that are zero accountability in pubs. So for me, it's like, that's what the Dota Dojo was really founded on, is me finally acknowledging to myself, because I've done this for years too. I'm not trying to say that this whole time I've been trying to help and all the community is a bunch of whiners. For so long, I was just like, why can't Valve fix this? Why can't anyone do anything about this? This fucking sucks. And, like, one day I just decided, not one day, like, one day I decided this, I don't even know when it was, but then I consciously was like, I'm going to look for an opportunity to have the impact that I think I can have. Like, it's not that I can change the world, and it's not that I can fix everything or whatever, but, like, I can have some sort of positive impact. And I think by removing our own agency, talking about the problem being so massive that we can't do anything about it, instead of looking for the small thing that we can do, is why the world ends up with 99% of the problems that it does have. Because people don't think this way, myself included. And when it comes to, like, the Dota community, like, why I founded the dojo was because I think it's long overdue that we stop asking Valve to fix these things. And we stop expecting them to fix it. And we stop thinking that there is some magical fix while we're all being fucking toxic shitters. Like, you're, like, listing all this, like, how do they fucking fix it? What you're doing is empathizing with Valve. Which is what I was trying to do in that video as well. I was trying to show, like, let's just think for a second, their perspective. If you were doing, like, this, for me, it's similar to, like, a parent who does everything they can for their kid, and then their kid's just like, fuck you, and I'm out of here.
Unsatisfied.
Yeah, and it's like, nothing's ever good enough. And unlike a parent-child relationship, they don't owe us anything. Like, I think a parent owes something to their kid. Like, you brought this kid into the world, but, like, for Dota, like, Valve doesn't owe us anything. Like, for us, they could have just left. They could have just given this game up, like, 5 years ago. And so, yeah, I personally am just really tired of people complaining about Valve. And I think it's a really interesting thought exercise for anyone listening to, every time you think something you don't like about this game, to remove Valve from your vocabulary and to ask yourself, what can I do about this? Or what would I like done about this that is not done by Valve? Like, what can community people do? What things are within the power of the people playing the game? Like, hypothetically, on, like, a large scale, you know, what could be done to fix this? Like, I'm not the game dev. I don't have this. I can't control them. I never will. Nothing I ever say or do about Valve will fucking matter. So let's talk about something else. You know, I think it would be such an interesting thought exercise for everybody. It's kind of similar to yesterday, how I said, like, people should stop talking about the timer in the game. Like, our team's on a timer. Like, we need to end this game fast. It's like, it's not that there's no merit to that, but it gets in the way of them thinking what they can do now in the game and what they can do next. And for me, people talking about Valve, directly gets in the way of them doing anything positive for the Dota community as well. So, yeah, that was mostly a rant and a venting session, but it's somebody once said to me, I really liked this quote. We are best equipped to help the people that we were 2 years ago, within the last 2 years, is what they said. So, like, whatever problems we tackled within the last 2 years, those are the people we're best equipped to help. And I really liked that. It's not like a perfectly encompassing thing, but I really liked the sentiment that if I've recently grown in a certain way, that there's probably a lot of people around me that haven't, because if they had, I probably wouldn't have this problem, because I would have seen a different way to do it. And I have also recently overcome this, so it's like really fresh in my mind what it's like to be in their shoes and what I did to overcome it. So this is an example of, for the Dota community, I think the way that I want to help is to help them see what they can do to help this problem, rather than direct any attention to Valve or the system itself. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Yep.
I can be nicer on the days that I feel irritated. I can mute myself. I can feel more flexible. I can be more flexible about what I'm willing to play. The interesting thing about muting yourself is, as long as it's like a short-term tool you're using to help yourself think a better way, it's not a long-term solution, is what I'm trying to say. Because it doesn't actually solve the problem. It like band-aids it, right? So, I guess I'm not saying you're doing that, but I think it's really important for all of us to be clear about things we're doing now to help us find a better solution, because it will prevent us from applying what we normally do, because we've already acknowledged what we normally do doesn't work. But then knowing what an actual solution needs to be later. So for me, the first step is to address the symptoms of any sickness, whether that's being a rager in pubs, which the symptoms can be muting yourself. Like, you can mute yourself to address the symptoms. But then once you've muted yourself, actually like reflecting and thinking, what would I rather do in these scenarios than scream at my teammates? Like, how can I better vent frustration in a way that is not outward, but I allow the frustration to be processed inwards, and then I project something that will help me outwards. People skip that step most of the time, because what people are trying to do is not feel bad anymore, when in reality what needs to happen is you need to make yourself feel better first, and then figure out a way to handle it better in the future so that you're not ran by your emotions. But easier said than done. Another quote, last thing, that Dr. K says that I love is, everything is simple, but not easy. I think there's a huge distinction between simple and easy, and I think all of life's most meaningful things are pretty fucking simple, but they're not easy. That's my experience.
True.
I don't really like the word should, Azazi. I always try to avoid the word should. It implies that something's like wrong with you. And there's nothing wrong with you for struggling to process your frustration during games. It's just something to work on. Not should be able to. There you go. You already corrected the should. Nice. That's a win. Nice. Yeah, I've reduced my usage of the word should by at least like 90%. It's like there are occasionally times for it, but similar to communicating, we're on a timer in Dota. I think the majority of the time it's detrimental to use the word should, so. I mean, the series ended behind us. We saw that Team Spirit 2-0'd it.
Yeah, and we are sitting for 3 hours straight.
I've got
I
an
don't think that's
interesting.
healthy.
I've got an interesting question, real quick, that we can answer, and then we can wrap it up because I think it's interesting. Sorry, I wasn't
Okay.
looking too much at the on-stream questions, which is literally why it's here. So I apologize about that, guys. We were kind of just having a really long discussion. Somebody asked, "How do you get over the mental block of not liking having certain supports in your lane?" I'm curious what you would say to that, Erfan. I know my answers all the time. What would you say to that?
Certain supports as heroes?
Yeah. Like he hates having
I-
Pudge 5 or something. And it's like a mental block. Then he gets
Yeah.
a Pudge 5 and he gets upset about the fact that he has a Pudge 5 and probably plays worse or spends the whole game tilted, something like this, I would imagine.
I mean, I didn't think of it from this perspective, but I had a student that he was saying that I'm scared of Shadowfiend. Whenever he is playing against me, I will just lose the lane mentally, not like the mechanically. So I was like, what if you learn to play SF so you will understand his strength and the weaknesses? So maybe we can do something about it. And with the supports, with the heroes, I think it can work too. If you don't like the hero, like first of all, we are living on the community and the teammates are random. So it's not like you like them to have or you don't like them to have. But if you want to fix your mentality, I think learning those heroes for their weaknesses and their strengths will help you more to like to play with them. Because especially if the example is Podge, you are like, okay, this guy wants to sit AFK and just hook. But if you learn the hero and if you see if my teammate can make an opportunity for me to give me a good angle to hit the hook, that's the kill for sure. So after learning Podge, if I have a Podge as position 5 in my lane, I will try to aggro or bait them in the angle that my Podge can hook. So I guess that's my answer. If you learn the hero about its weaknesses and strengths, you are going to like that hero, and that mental block I think will go away.
I think that's incredibly good advice. That wasn't immediately where I would go with it, but one of my most impactful lessons that I've learned for myself, and I would actually think can be summarized. It kind of summarizes what you just said. Is when you find something really frustrating or tilting, and you have a mental blocker. What these things are preventing you from doing is looking at the situation, observing it, understanding it, gaining knowledge about the situation. It's preventing you from using the critical thinking that your brain has. That's like directly what's happening here. So what Erfan basically said was an exact example of educate yourself on the thing that's frustrating you. Don't worry. Like, we understand it's frustrating and you understand that it feels very powerless, but the best way to understand what to do or to overcome a mental block is to understand the situation better, basically. And it's really hard in the moment to have that Pudge be sitting AFK in the trees, looking like he's doing nothing, and to have the takeaway be, I should educate myself on how to play position 5 Pudge. That's really hard, in my opinion. There's a lot of ego. There's a lot of like blame. There's a lot of things. Insecurity, fear of failure. Like, this guy's making me play worse and he's making me look bad. There's like a lot of things that can get in the way of seeing something you don't like and educating yourself on it. Because for a lot of people, they'll use something along the lines of, that's not my job to fix. This guy should be a better support player. And like every time you think that, you are giving power to somebody else. Like, you're literally saying, I can't do anything about this, but he can. But deep down, I know he's not going to. So for me, my answer would be, it all comes down to learning to discern between what you can and cannot control as like a grand umbrella of advice. And what Erfan, I believe, said in this exact circumstance is how I would exactly tell you to gain control of the situation. He basically said, this is what you can control. Your understanding of the hero, understanding how to enable it, and to do that, playing a small portion of games to understand his perspective would probably benefit you immensely. So, yeah, I think, I mean, I love the advice you gave, and I just wanted to give a bit of a more general thing about
I
that.
think you polished it very well, even in my mind.
I think it's really funny because I think this is just, I'm not trying to compare. I think I'm better at conceptualizing the bigger picture, but you're much better at breaking it down into bite-sized advice than I am. You know what I mean? I think that's the skills we both kind of have. Like, I would not have done as good of a job giving him exact actionable advice. And I think the perfect video, for instance, on any subject would be first doing what I'm doing, and then second doing what you're doing. And I don't think we'd be able to make that quality of content without both of us in the picture. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we can learn a lot from each other on how to do it. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard one. And that's a new one also. We need to, I think we can do it casually, then we try to learn from ourselves and refine it.
I mean, I think we're already kind of doing it. Meaning, like, I feel like I've already instinctually implemented it, where with the first video of the series, I just, for all intents and purposes, copy pasted what you said as like actionable advice, but then I tried to put a little bit more contextual explanation on it, like a little bit. But I think in the future I would do a little bit more, and maybe I would structure it differently. I think what I'm going to do for the second one is I'm going to try to consciously structure that, because I think there's probably an optimal order, an optimal way to package it that makes it more digestible to everybody. The first step is to help them understand that we understand, which I think we're both good at doing in our own different ways. But then the second part is this is how you implement it. This is how you do it. Let's make it happen. Which I think I've always struggled with in my content, which I just said, like, I acknowledge you're much better at than I am. So I think we can. I think we'll get there. I have no doubt.
Yeah, we can do that. Because actually, I've learned this like the last 2 years. I added this to my skills, so I can say that, because I understood that some people can learn and improve by advices, and some people will learn and improve by action. So I tried to learn the actions that I can give to somebody to work on his problem. Because, it's the difference between the doctor and the coach. Doctor gives you general idea and the reason for your problems and the concept. But the coach tells you to do 10 push-ups. Then on that 10 push-ups, you will understand why doctor was saying that. Or he'll tell you to run 10 kilometers. Like, I'm not expert still, but it's something that I'm working on for the last 2 years. So
it's palpable. I can tell you've worked on it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I have talked about it off stream a lot. We are going to be wrapping up soon here, guys, just for the record. But we've talked about it a lot off stream. But as Dota content creators and coaches and stuff like this, you know, what our job is to figure out what do we offer that other people don't offer. There's like things we theoretically could do that if there's anybody out there that can do it better than us, then it's probably the wrong direction for us to take. And I think right now within Dota, nobody does what we're currently describing, which is like breaking down a complicated game into bite-sized pieces with a healthy dose of empathy towards understanding the viewer's problem, showing them that we understand it, and then explaining how the problem works, and then explaining actionable advice. I think that nobody's doing that, right? Like, I think this is insanely difficult to do. And when I think about like my last 5 years of my life, pretty much everything I've done up until this point has prepared me to be able to do this. Like it took me like 5 years to get here. And you said 2 years on this specific topic. It's not like it's all, you know, there's a lot of overlap between stuff. And I'm just thinking that, yeah, I think this is what we offer. And I think that's interesting. And I mean, real quick, somebody in chat said that they've made a conflict resolution tool that analyzes conversations and guides people. I'd be interested. I think now is a tough time because I'm super fucking busy with everything I'm doing. But, you know, as time progresses, I would definitely be interested. It's just now is not a good time. ChatGPT says that authenticity is authorship over behavior. Authenticity is knowing who is choosing your actions. Interesting. That lines up with my definition.
So we are not going to watch the finals, and we are sitting 3 hours straight.
Yes. Probably good.
Yeah.
I mean, I have some house chores I gotta go do.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, man, it's always a pleasure. I mean, I'm just thinking about like for future for us. I'm happy to just kind of openly discuss this on stream for a second, because it's not like private or anything. Me and Erfan have talked about, you know, just generally doing this type of stuff. We figured we'd find what works best for us. I've tried casting on stream and stuff in the past, and at some point it was kind of like, why do this over something else, basically? And for me, I really enjoy having the professional games on in the background because I feel like what happened both days was we were watching the game. We talked about something within the game. Like today, I just casually mentioned like Quinn talking about like hyping up the players, like, and then it just spiraled into like an hour and a half conversation about shit related to Dota. So for me, it's that's what I enjoy doing. I know you kind of mentioned it off stream yesterday. That's what I enjoy doing as well. So I think a large portion of what we can do in the future will be something like this. And yeah, I look forward to it, man. I mean, I'm not too focused on making sure we see all the grand finals and analyze exactly who we think's gonna win. I just enjoy the conversation surrounding the Dota game. So, I feel like both days we started with Dota centric, and then eventually something like mindset / theoretical or philosophical came up, and then we just kind of rolled with it. So, any thoughts from you, man?
No, I just enjoy being here, and I'm happy about my decision to be
Cool, man.
here to work with you.
Yeah.
And let's see how far we can go.
Sick, man. Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Thank you, everyone who tuned in. I'm going to go ahead and end the call with you, Erfan. I'll see you later. Have a good rest of your Sunday.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
I'm glad you liked it too, Gazu. I saw your message. How did YouTube chat like it? BSJ, what do you think of Largo now that some time has passed? His win rate seems garbage. I've had a few Largos in my game that absolutely owned. I think the hero is mechanically simple, but he's not straightforward easy on what he's supposed to do. In terms of in the game itself, like where I really think the hero is supposed to be played like Io, where he just follows somebody around and gives them a dispel and gives them buffs. And I think in pubs, people don't generally like playing like this. So I personally think that's why his win rate's really low. I think if he was put in competitive, he'd be really strong, for instance. This is brutal to listen to. What is he babbling about? I understand, man. It sounds like this stream is not for you. We were talking more, I guess, in depth about the mindset and philosophy of things we think are Dota adjacent. So, you know, if you're looking for more straight Dota type things, I just highly recommend you stick to my videos. Because that's what I try to give you in my videos. So, the only way I get to giving you guys very digestible, simple answers is by going through very in-depth conversations like these. And so what you're kind of getting is a look into the way that I come to my conclusions that are helpful to you guys. So if you want the conclusion but not the process, that's completely understandable. And yeah, that's just sounds like this might not be the place for you. Haven't played Dota in years, but I always enjoy listening and reflecting on ideas and perspectives you have, BSJ. Nice, Cheesecake Fanatic. That's awesome. That's awesome. Even so, he could at least be respectable. I mean, most people on the internet, I don't think he's intending to be disrespectful. And by streaming less, I'm able to more empathize with my viewers and be patient when I see those type of messages. I think he's just being honest. I think he just sees this conversation and he's like, why the fuck are they talking about this? This sounds like, just chill, man. Enjoy your life. I feel like that's generally what's going through his mind, something like that. And most people are not intentionally being disrespectful. And there is some boundary in there where if the person's like clogging the chat with like 30 messages and they're all disrespectful, then that's a problem. But you know, you kind of have to pick your battles. Is there anything inherently bad to have an online and offline persona that are essentially very different people? I think it's one of the most dangerous things you can do. I think there's really no such thing as having two different versions of ourselves and having a healthy life. So I completely disagree with the nature of that being harmless. I think it's incredibly dangerous and incredibly detrimental to your mental health. I think Dota is becoming more and more stompy. One side gets ahead early and then snowballs. Not as many equal games anymore and harder to come back. I have noticed that. I wonder what's responsible for that. Because then at the highest level, the games are going longer, so it's kind of interesting. Maybe it's become more difficult to be the team that's playing from behind, which means that the games would go shorter. That'd be my kind of general take. You definitely have a different persona. I mean, the question is why? Why do you have a different persona? Not a matter of like there's something wrong with you that you have one, but like why do you have one? You know, Erfan mentioned it earlier that when people are trying to fit in, he basically emphasized, what is your reason for fitting in? And there's times where our reason heavily determines the benefits and detriment of what we're doing. Because acting like my IRL self would not be as interesting to me. What about your IRL self is uninteresting? Are you acting online or are you acting IRL? Is my question. I think online I'm me, but more unhinged. Is it the lack of accountability? Acting online, I don't know if you can act IRL. People are acting every day. People are performing every day. I can tell you and I have very different takes on this. Skilly takes care of Purdue. We have polar opposite takes. Here's my take. They complement each other, the opposites and whatnot. In my experience, I want this to come off as this is my experience and not a judgment on you. That if I'm like 60% introvert and in real life, I feel like I'm forced to be 90% introverted, what I'm going to do in gaming is be 30%. Because my nature is to be 60. So I will balance it by being 90 here and 30 here. And I personally think it's really unhealthy, personally, for myself, to be the further you are away from 60 in any of the given context is the worse it is. Like the more unhealthy it is. So for me, if I'm 60, you know, life, there is adjustments. So sometimes I'll be 70, sometimes I'll be 50. But if I find myself at 120, that's something I consider to be dangerous and an alarm bell, kind of thing. At that point, I feel like it's kind of similar to some days I work my fucking ass off so much to the point that the next day I'm exhausted and I do nothing. In theory, rather than doing 12 hours of work today and 4 hours tomorrow, I would rather do approximately 8 hours of work both days. I view that as a more sustainable, more stable, more healthy version of the same thing. In both situations, you're doing 16 hours of work, but in one situation, you have like a ton of energy one day and no energy the next day. And in reality, there are always fluctuations of energy levels. Like, that makes sense. You can't literally be the exact same energy level every day. But living healthy, consistent, routine lives lowers the magnitude of that inconsistency, which is something that Erfan and I were talking about with regards to performance earlier. And I would extrapolate that onto your personality as well. That's how I look at it. would you say you pursue balance in everything you do? My answer to that question is that I believe all of our biggest flaws, things that our blind spots, our toxic traits, our bad habits, all of them are some extreme of something. And I've only really gathered understanding of a concept if I first understand what the two extremes are that I'm trying to balance between. So I guess the answer is yes. I think anything done to an extreme is dangerous, no matter how good it starts. For me, there's nuance to everything in life. And the only way I can reach nuance is to understand the extremes and find my place in the middle. And I have to create a system for myself that allows me to sustain being in the middle. This is like, for instance, creating a system that allows me to sustain going to the gym 4 days a week rather than going for 6 months, 6 days a week, and then burning out and not going at all. That's like an example. So yeah, I guess in short, my answer to your question would be yes, I do strive for balance. I can see that, but it's way harder talking to strangers IRL than online. Absolutely it is. There's a lot more factors to consider IRL than there are online. Body language, tone, depending on if you're text chatting or whatever. Reading their body language, reading their tone, reading their facial expressions. There's a lot more to worry about IRL. But if that means like what you're saying is you're an unhinged version of yourself online compared to on IRL. So what that means is that you're not fully comfortable being yourself IRL. Like that's what that means to me. Like that's what I'm hearing is you find it difficult to be able to be yourself without like getting yourself into trouble somehow. You know, like giving a girl the ick or saying something rude to your boss or something. Like I'm just giving examples, but yeah, there's a lot more ways to fuck up in real life because you have all these extra factors and there's usually a lot more repercussions. So I understand that struggle. I mean, I understand that it is much more difficult to be yourself IRL. And I agree with that. I think pretty much everybody can relate to that sentiment. So I get that. You and I are very different people, but nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it's tough for me because I'm gonna try to say this in like the nicest way possible because I think the most important thing here is how do I word this? So the issue with there is like this issue I take with what you just said, and it's not because you did something wrong. It's been like a common occurrence ever since I went on my self-improvement journey. Here's my explanation I can give you. I was you 6 years ago. Meaning, I lived my life the exact way you're describing 6 years ago. And I thought it was incredibly detrimental. And over time, I realized how detrimental it was. And for me, there are different solutions to different people. But I still view what you're doing as detrimental. But it's also not my place to tell you how to live your life. But from my perspective, I actively worked to not be like that But I think a lot of people, so when I describe this type of stuff to them, a lot of people think we're different. Like, innately, we're different. Do you know what I mean? But for me, it's not we were made differently or we have different personalities. I had a ton in common with the average Dota 2 player, the way we approach things, and I've actively gone away from that. And there's times where Dota 2 players will tell me I just do things differently, and that's how it is. But in reality, I had to like construct this. So it's like, I don't like the maybe you weren't saying this and I'm projecting previous conversations onto you. Maybe I'm doing that. But I don't like it being referred to as underlying nature. It's like, this is who I chose to be. Do you know what I'm saying? Feeling that you are very passionate and it annoys you that you can't transfer over that info to everybody. I think that's that is definitely a struggle I've had. So you're not off there, and I appreciate that empathy. I think the more accurate, exactly way to word it, in terms of my perspective on it, is that what I did to bust my ass, people attribute to us being different. And a lot of times, it's very invalidating to the work I did. And I know people don't mean it that way. So, like, I'm not thinking you're, like, purposely being an ass. But there's a lot of times that people see people. This isn't specific to me here. This is almost like an adjacent subject. That people will see somebody with an immense amount of success, and they will assume that that person was given everything. And there's a lot of time where people are given privilege, and they are given luck, and there are things that they were given. But then there's also a lot of times where people put in a ton of fucking work, and people don't respect that, basically. So for me, with my personal improvement journey, there's been a lot of times more and more over the years that people chop it up to me just being different than them. When for me, that's not at all the explanation for what happened here. That makes sense. I hope I explained that well. I don't know. First time trying to say that on stream. I can see that, but yeah. Checky, yeah, it's interesting, man. I very recently have had to come to confront how I handle people's perception of me. I struggled with that, and I still do. I struggle with that forever, as long as I can remember. It's like really distracting background. And talking about balance in all things, it's insanely difficult to balance caring about what other people think about you, but also not changing who you are in order to have them like you. It's like an insanely difficult balance. Like insanely difficult. But that's true. Skilly takes care of Purdue. That's very true. What success looks like and the work that they took in, very different, and it sometimes can be invisible. Absolutely. Very good input, man. I agree with that. What are we Mason lolling about? Out of curiosity. I don't know what I said that alluded to Mason. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for today's stream. I had a blast. Let me look at this week's schedule because we do have Christmas coming up. I have a class on stream tomorrow, so there'll be a short stream tomorrow evening. And then I've got 2 coaching sessions on Tuesday. So that's going to be happening. It was a question on the background stream. Ah, the toxic lump of coal, I see. That was one of the funniest moments in all of Dota 2 history, was Mason getting permanently banned. That was honestly, I think, one of the most cathartic moments for many people within the Dota community. There's just something about people getting what's coming to them, you know what I mean? It's justice. I think justice is one of the most beautiful things that a human can experience at times. So, but yeah, enjoy the holidays, guys. Your dono didn't show on stream. Let me see. I'll read your dono, sir. Streamlabs. Oh, am I not even connected? Is that why? Oh, am I not using? What am I using? Not Streamlabs. Oh, Stream Elements. That's why. You tipped 420 and said learned a lot this stream. Oh yeah, man. Thank you very much for the 420. XT City. I appreciate that, man. Are all the Dreamleague games over? No, man. Actually, the finals are just about to start. So tune in and check it out if you're wishing, if you're willing, if you want to. I'm just gonna be logging off. But yeah, XT City, I appreciate that 420. Blaze it. I appreciate it too, Gazu. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a great rest of your Sunday. I'll see Dojo people at class later today. Hope to see you guys there. Don't forget to submit your replays if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys there.